The Aldrich Family, written by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, scarcely a day passes that doesn't bring us a letter from some housewife praising Jell-O butterscotch pudding. Many of these letters read somewhat as follows. I've tried just about every ready-prepared pudding on the market, and Jell-O butterscotch pudding is the one for me. Other letters, of course, speak of how easy Jell-O butterscotch pudding is to make, because you simply add milk, cook for a few minutes, and cool. And still other letters tell us how grateful housewives are for the many ways you can serve Jell-O butterscotch pudding. But the big point is its flavor, the warm, buttery brown sugar flavor of creamy golden butterscotch, just the way you like it, full of rich homemade goodness. Yes, friends, you like Jell-O butterscotch pudding a lot, so just try it. And let your own taste tell you why Jell-O butterscotch pudding is the pudding that thousands call the best of all. If your doorbell rings tonight and you answer it and find no one there, you remember that this is Halloween and that you, too, were a youngster yourself. And you might suspect Henry Aldrich of having something to do with the prank because he's a real boy from your own neighborhood. Tonight we find Henry in the Aldrich living room with his friend Toby.
Gee whiz, am I bored.
Same here, Henry.
How could a thing like this happen, Toby? It's Halloween and the two of us are dead broke.
Gee, I thought I'd never live to see a thing like this happen.
Wouldn't you think, Toby, that there'd be at least one thing a person could do on Halloween without it's costing money?
That's what you'd think. How about going over and getting even with Mr. Tarbell for what he did a year ago?
How?
Well, we could think of something. I'll tell you what. If we could get his front steps loose from the porch, we could hide them.
No, Toby.
But, Henry, then when he comes out and starts to go down the steps, he'll wonder where they are.
Who will wonder where what is?
Oh, is that you, Father?
You are not going to touch anyone's front steps.
How did you know about that?
I'm psychic. Halloween or no Halloween, you boys are not to touch any private property.
Henry, are you in the living room?
Yes, Mother. Gee whiz, Father. Toby and I don't want to just sit around and look at each other all evening.
How would you like to have me make some candy?
Mother, candy. Everybody else is out doing things, and we sit home and make candy.
Well, if you'd planned ahead, you'd have enough money to go to a dance.
I did plan ahead. I told you several weeks ago that my allowance isn't adequate.
Yes.
Henry, what do you say we get our hats and go out for a little stroll?
All right.
You aren't going to play any practical jokes on anyone, are you?
Oh, no, Mr. Aldrich. We're just going out for the fresh air.
And maybe ring one or two doorbells.
Henry, you're not going to ring any doorbells.
But, Mother, what harm can come from innocently ringing just one doorbell? That's rung 50 million times in the year anyway.
Because most people don't like it.
Henry, the minute you begin to trespass, you're liable to run into trouble.
Father, name one thing that could happen from sticking a pin into a doorbell. Aside from the fact that it's going to ring for a while.
I'm not going to argue.
Toby, I don't think I'll go out.
No?
All year. Ever since way back, I've been looking forward to tonight. And now it's here, and I can't even stick a pin in a doorbell.
Sam, if Henry didn't actually stick a pin in it, couldn't he ring just one bell?
It's entirely up to you, Alice.
All we do is ring it and run, Father.
Don't look at me, son. I'm only your father.
I don't see what fun there could be in it.
At least my whole year wouldn't be ruined.
Well, could you ring a bell where no one is home?
Mother.
All right, if it'll make you any happier, go out and ring one bell.
We can, Father? We can? Toby, come on.
Okay.
I don't see what fun you'll get from it.
At least we can say we've done it.
Henry, I've got an idea.
What?
My folks didn't say I couldn't ring more than one. I'll tell you. I'll do the ringing and you do the running.
Okay, let's ring Mr. Edwards' bell first.
John Edwards, are you out there porch without any hat on?
I am. I was just out to look at the car. Someone has taken the battery out of it.
Who do you suppose could have done a thing like that?
Oh, some Halloween hoodlum. I tell you, Phoebe, this town has reached a nice state of affairs.
Well, come in and close the door before you catch pneumonia.
You know what I think I'll do? I'll just wait inside the door and see whether anyone comes back. I'll get my cane, too. The next boy that comes up on this porch is going to get the tanning of his life.
Yes, dear.
Toby.
What?
He's going in. Come on up on the porch.
What were they talking about, Henry?
Search me.
Let's write a note and pin it to the door.
Okay, got a pencil?
No, here's my fountain pen.
Listen, Toby, let's just ring the bell and run.
Let me ring it.
No, Toby, this is the only one I can ring.
You can ring the next one.
No, besides, Mr. Edwards was my idea. Here we go, Toby. I'm going to ring it.
Do you hear anyone coming?
No, I better ring it again.
Well, Phoebe!
Somebody's coming. Run, Toby, run.
I am.
Stop there! Stop!
Oh, John!
Quick, Toby, duck around the side of the house here.
I'm with you, Henry.
Stop! You hear me?
Stop nothing. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What was that?
I'm all right. I just knocked over an ash can. Come on.
Duck back here through this grate, Robert.
There goes Mr. Edwards over it. Toby,
That'll help.
If I catch you, I'll turn you go.
come on out through these trees, Toby.
If he catches you, Henry, don't give your right name.
Whose name should I give?
Take one up. What was that?
That was Mrs. Edwards. Look, Toby, here's a hole or something we can hide in.
Yeah, where?
Right here in the ground. Oh, gee whiz, wait, Toby.
What's the matter?
It's an old well.
Well, this is a nice time to tell me.
What's the matter?
I dropped my fountain pen in it.
Shh, Toby, he's coming.
Toward us?
He went right on.
Boy, that was close.
Let's beat it, Toby, and get out of here.
But, Henry, I dropped my fountain pen.
Is that so important?
My mother just bought it for me. Gee whiz, I can't go home without my fountain pen, Henry.
How are we going to get it? It's way down at the bottom of the well.
Well, there's an old chain here. It's hanging right straight down.
Is it fastened here at the top?
Sure, right to this piece of iron. Wait a second, I'll roll up my trousers.
You better take them off, Toby, then you won't get them wet.
Sure, and hold my coat, too.
John? John?
Yes, what is it?
Did you find them?
No, not yet.
Toby.
Did you look in the shed out beyond the well?
I'm just coming from there.
Well, come back in the house then.
All I can say is they must have disappeared right into the ground.
It's okay, Toby. You can go down now.
Look out while I go over the edge.
Are you sure you can get up again?
Why not? All I have to do is hang onto this chain and climb right up the side. So long, Henry.
Hang on. Hang on tight, old boy.
Gee whiz,
What's the matter? Toby, what's the matter?
there's something tied partway down on the chain.
What is it?
It's an automobile battery.
A battery? What's it doing down there?
How should I know? And the chain ends right here.
It does? Can you jump the rest of the way?
What do you mean, jump? It's so dark down here I wouldn't know when I got to the bottom.
Oh, here's the trouble. It's up here. Some of the slack is hooked onto a bolt. I'll see whether I can loosen it.
Let it out easy, Henry.
Don't worry, Toby. You don't think I'd let you fall, do you? Toby. Oh, Toby. Toby, where are you?
I thought you were my friend.
I couldn't help it. Toby, can you float?
How can you float in 4 inches of water?
Won't you get your pen and come on up?
You're crazy. There's nothing to take a hold of.
Stand on the battery and reach.
I can't.
Well, gee, Toby, I'll have to get you out somehow. I wonder whether I can find a ladder anyplace.
Ask Mr. Edwards whether he has one.
Sure. Do you think I'm crazy, Toby?
Well, hurry up and get a ladder someplace.
Look, there's the lid to the well up here.
Well, what about it?
Do you want me to put it over the top so you won't get cold?
No, just get me a ladder.
Do you want your pants and coat?
Just throw down my coat.
Okay, here it comes. I'll get the ladder that's in our garage, Toby, and if anybody speaks to you, don't answer.
Sam, has Henry come in yet?
Not yet.
It seems as though it's taking him an awfully long time to ring one doorbell.
Do you realize, Alice, this is the first Halloween no one has bothered us?
Certainly do. Did you put all the ash cans in?
I put them in the basement.
was that?
Something out and back.
Sam, it sounds like one of the garage doors.
You suppose anyone's getting in there?
Listen, dear.
Come with me.
Where?
Let's go out to the kitchen and look through the window.
Is the kitchen light on?
No. No one can see us.
Sam, someone is in the garage.
Stand back from the window.
Can you see them?
Alice, someone is coming out of the garage with our big ladder.
Sam Aldrich, I think that's the limit.
I'm going down the cellar stairs here and slip out to the basement door.
Well, why not go out the back door?
This way I can head him off in the driveway.
Shall I turn the light on?
No, don't turn the light on. I can see quite all right.
Sam, what have you done?
I forgot I put the ash cans down here.
Well, my goodness, dear, are the ashes all over my cellar floor?
Yes, and so am I. Turn on the light.
Sam, you better come back up here and get your hat and coat.
You want whoever it is to get away?
Is that ladder more important than your health? Now come back up here.
But, Alice, he's already gone out toward the street.
In a town this size, Sam, you can certainly track down someone with a ladder.
You say the battery was taken right out of your car, Mr. Edwards?
Yes, officer.
But you didn't see anyone.
Not until a few minutes later. Two boys come up on the porch and rang the bell, and I chased them right around here through the grape arbor.
Were they carrying the battery?
Well, I couldn't say.
Well, whoever stole it is going to be apprehended and punished. The young fellows here have got to respect private property.
Oh, they don't stop at anything. I even found a pair of somebody's trousers back here. You better take them down to headquarters. Why? 1 minute.
What's up?
Stand back there under this tree. You see out there toward the street?
Somebody coming?
Somebody with a ladder. He's coming right this way.
All right, no, keep quiet. Keep quiet. When he passes, I'll nab him. Just a minute there, young man.
Oh, gee whiz, who said that?
1 minute, I said.
Yes, sir. So was there something you wanted?
Where did you get that ladder?
At home.
I asked you, where did you get it?
I brought it from home. Sure, I did. I give you my word, I did.
Oh, so we're going to have trouble with you. Where's the battery?
The battery? What battery?
The battery that disappeared from my car.
I haven't even seen any battery.
What's your name?
Why,
What is it?
it's Harry.
Harry what?
Harry Ambrose.
Where are you taking that ladder?
Well, not any place in particular. I just happened to be carrying it with me.
Just giving it an airing, eh? Taking it out for a walk.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Edwards, what do you think we ought to do with him?
It's 90 days for larceny, isn't it, officer?
90 days in jail for taking my own father's ladder?
That's what it is.
But I've got a friend, see, and
I see, and he has the battery.
No, sir, he's in a terrible predicament.
Where is he?
Where is he? I don't know. I'm looking for him.
Oh, you're just going around with a ladder looking for a friend.
I know that seems hard to believe, officer, but that's what I'm doing.
Well, suppose you leave that ladder here.
But I'll get the deuce if I don't take it back home.
And you'll get 90 days, Harry Ambrose, if you don't put it down.
Yes, sir.
Now get home, will you? Should have been in bed an hour ago.
Yes, sir, only I don't know what my friend will do without me.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this being Halloween, I'd like to tell you a ghost story. The story of Edgar the Gloomy Ghost. Edgar, it seems, was very fond of nice desserts at dinner. But his wife, Phyllis the Phantom, kept serving him just ordinary desserts. As a result, Edgar went around moaning and groaning like this. Ooh, ooh. Then one day, Edgar's wife bought some Jell-O vanilla pudding at the ghostery store. And now Edgar is just as cheerful as can be. No longer does he go around moaning. Now he has a warm, likable laugh like this. So, you see, just in case Edgar might drop in, ladies and gentlemen, always keep Jell-O vanilla pudding on hand. It's brimful of tempting flavor, as smooth as rich cream, and extra good when garnished with nuts, marshmallows, or fruit. My own favorite is Jell-O vanilla pudding with sliced bananas. But served any way at all, it's grand. Order this delightful, ready-prepared dessert and start right away to enjoy the luscious flavor of Jell-O vanilla pudding. Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. It being Halloween, Henry and his friend Toby set out to ring just one doorbell and come home. However, one thing leads to another until Toby was left stranded at the bottom of a well, and Henry is attempting to rescue it.
Good evening. Oh, is that you out there, Henry Aldrich?
Good evening, Mrs. Lockridge. Could I borrow a real strong rope from you?
A real strong what, dear?
A rope. I need about 15 feet of very strong rope.
Oh, would a piece of clothesline help any?
No, ma'am. I have a friend that's in a well.
Well, that's quite a Halloween joke, isn't it?
No, ma'am. I'm trying to get my friend out.
Well, how did he get in it?
He was looking for his fountain pen.
Well, why don't you try one of the other houses in the neighborhood?
I have, but every doorbell I've rung so far, the people chased me.
You don't say so.
Yes, ma'am. That's how I got all wet like this.
Goodness gracious, how did you get that wet?
They poured a bucket of water on me from the second-floor window.
Well, come to think of it, Henry, we have a good long tow rope out in the car.
You have?
Yes, sir. You'll find the car right out there in front.
Right down the curb a ways?
That's right.
Okay.
If I remember, the rope's a little bit straight in the middle.
That's all right. It can certainly hold Toby. Will I find it in the front or the rear of the car?
You'll have to look, dear.
Guess this is the car. My gosh. That's funny.
All right, young fellow. What are you trying to get away with?
What's that?
Did you think I didn't see you?
She was let go of my collar.
What were you doing in my car?
I've got a friend that's in a well.
Yeah?
But you see, Mrs. Lockbridge gave me permission to open this car.
Mrs. Lockbridge did.
It's her husband.
Well, it just happens to be my car, and I live right here in this house.
You do? You mean this other car here is Lockbridge's?
And I suppose you're going to tell me Mrs. Lockbridge gave you permission to let all the air out of my tires?
Are they flat?
What do you think I was watching out the window for?
Well, you certainly have my sympathy.
Here you are.
What's that?
It's a pump. Get to work.
But gee whiz, I give you my word, all I was looking for was a piece of rope so I could pull my friend out.
Maybe you'd like to have me turn you over to the police, my boy.
Oh, no.
Are you going to hook that pump onto the valve?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Why, which tire do you want me to pump up first?
I asked you your name.
It's a Harry Ambrose.
Harry Ambrose, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, your family ought to be ashamed of you.
Yes, sir, they certainly ought to be.
I'm going in and keep an eye on you from the house. And don't forget, there's a street lamp right here, and I can see every move you make.
Yes, sir.
If I hadn't been a boy once myself, I'd turn you over to the law.
Yes, sir. Oh, gee whiz. Well, I'll be darned.
Henry? Henry, is that you pumping up those tires?
Father, where did you come from?
I'm looking for our ladder. And may I first ask what you're doing?
Father, I wish you'd go in and tell the man that owns this car that he has no right making me do this.
How did he happen to ask you to?
I was opening his car, see?
Son, didn't you promise to ring just one doorbell?
That's all I did
Then
do.
let's not have any excuses. Pump those tires up and take your punishment.
Where are you going?
To find a family by the name of Ambrose.
Of Ambrose? Ambrose?
I tracked a boy by that name as far as Mr. Edwards' house. You don't happen to know him, do you?
Harry Ambrose?
Do you know him?
Well, I think I've heard of him. But he's no friend of mine, Father.
Well, hurry up and finish those tires, and then get on.
But listen, Father.
Hey there, let me hide behind your car.
Who's that?
Is that you, Henry?
Is that you, Homer?
Here, Henry, hold it.
What is it?
It's a red lantern.
What am I to do with it?
Just hold it, Henry. I'm in a hurry.
But I don't want this, Homer.
Oh, so there you are.
Who?
You with the lantern. Come along with me, my boy.
You wait until I get even with you, Homer.
You got away from him, didn't you,
I
Henry?
got away from him, but look at what he did to my coat. How am I going to get this sleeve back on?
Aren't I going to help you get Toby out of the well?
Yes.
And didn't I get this rope for you?
Where did you get it?
Isn't it a beauty, Henry? I found it over here on Walnut Street.
What I mean, Homer, is whose was it?
Nobody's. It was just roping off a new sidewalk that had been laid this afternoon.
Listen, Homer, I'm not going to use it.
Well, we aren't going to keep it, Henry. It's just to get Toby out.
But, Homer, I don't think we should use it.
All right, then. All right.
Not so loud, Homer.
Do you see somebody?
We're right here by Mr. Edwards' house.
Oh.
Come on now, Homer, and follow me back to the well.
Why don't you want to disturb Mr. Edwards, Henry?
Well, if he's going to sleep, there's no sense in waking him up, is there? Come on back through this grape arbor.
I'm coming. Where is the well?
It's right ahead here. Someplace.
Can't you find it?
That's strange. Gee, whiz, don't fall in the window. Oh, here it is. Hey, Toby. Toby, are you all right?
Toby.
Who is that?
It's Henry and Homer.
Well, you're the only ones that haven't been here before.
Who else has been here?
Everybody. And they all threw something down. The last time it was a bushel of apples.
Are you all right, Toby?
How could I be? Get me out of here.
We're letting a rope down now, Toby.
Here, Henry, I'll help you.
Is it down yet, Toby?
No.
It's coming. Homer, have you got the end
What end, Henry?
of the rope?
The end's down here.
Which end?
Both ends.
Well, gee whiz, Homer, if you aren't a help.
Toby, throw one end up here.
How am I going to do that?
Just throw it right straight up.
Here it comes.
Where is it?
Around my neck.
Henry, I've got an idea. Look out.
What are you going to do?
How about dropping this rock down and letting him tie the rope to it?
And then throw it up?
Now listen. Don't throw anything more down here. There isn't any more room.
Henry, do you think you could hold my hand while I go down part way?
How would you get the rope?
Well, Toby could tie it to my foot.
Sure, and then I'll pull you back up.
Well, take it easy now. Wait till I get over the edge.
Okay, have you got a good hold?
Yeah.
What's that coming down?
Don't worry, it's Homer.
Don't jump, Homer.
What do you think I am? Are you sure you got a hold of me, Henry?
Sure.
Easy now, easy.
I only had something to hang on to.
This is a nice time to think of that.
Don't worry, Homer, I've got you.
Boy, my arm's coming right out.
How much lower is it?
Wait a second and I'll tie the rope on Homer's foot.
You got it?
Come on, officer. I think they're off this way.
I'm coming.
Oh, gee whiz.
What's that?
Keep quiet. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Gee, if they had come 2 feet closer, they would have fallen right in with us.
That would have been good.
Well, we got you out, Toby, even if we did have a hard time finding my father's ladder.
And, Toby, we got you away from Mr. Edwards' house.
But I still haven't got any pants, Henry.
Oh, just walk along as though you were coming home from a party.
Boy, is this heavy.
Is what heavy? Listen, Toby, what are you carrying?
This battery.
Well, gee whiz, Toby, what'd you bring that for?
I didn't even know I had it.
Well, we've got to take that right back to Mr. Edwards.
All the way?
Sure. What do you think we hauled it out for? We get caught with it, we'll get 6 months in jail.
Here, Homer, how would you like to carry it?
I don't want it. Let Henry carry it.
Toby, don't try to shirk responsibility.
Well, you fellas have got to go back with me. I'm not going alone.
Come on, that... Gee whiz, who's that coming?
Where?
Down there on the corner. He's coming right towards us. Isn't that a policeman?
I think it is, Henry. Let's turn around and go the other way.
And that's what I say.
No, we'll walk right along as though we were heading for a garage.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Now, our battery ran down and we're going to get it recharged.
But I still haven't got any pants.
Listen, fellas, look ahead there.
Where?
There's another policeman, and he's walking right toward us.
So long, Toby.
Now, wait, Henry. You can't leave me flat like this. I've got to get rid of this battery.
Well, put it down someplace.
Sure, and supposing he sees me.
I've got an idea. You see that car parked there by the curb?
Yeah?
We'll put it inside. Just dump it through the window.
Henry, you've got a head on you.
Come on now, we'll hide between these 2 houses. Boy, if they see us.
Okay.
Wait for me.
Well, hurry up.
Quiet. The police are going by.
Do you think they saw us?
No, they're not even looking this way.
Say, fellas, do you know what I just happened to think?
What?
I left my fountain pen down in the well.
Say, gee whiz.
What's the matter?
That car we put the battery in.
What about it?
Somebody just drove off in it.
Is that you, Henry?
Yes, Mother.
Will you please tell me where you've been all evening?
Just out with Toby, fooling around.
Well, come into the living room.
I've got to make a phone call first, Mother. Hello, operator. Then I'll be right there. Operator, could you get me... It's right here in the book. It's Elm 36.
Henry?
Mother, Father isn't in yet, is he?
No, he isn't.
Oh, hello? Hello, is this Mr. Edwards? Well, Mr. Edwards, this is to inform you that if you will notify the police to look for a car number T765, I think. Or maybe it was T5 something. Anyhow, in it you'll find your battery. What's that? This is just a friend, Mr. Edwards, who happened to be passing by your house a little while ago.
Henry! Henry!
Goodbye.
Henry!
I'm coming, Mother.
Why, where's your coat, dear?
I just hung it up in the closet.
Well, did you ring your doorbell?
Yes, Mother, I rang it.
Did you find it worthwhile?
Well, to be honest, I think I'm getting a little too old to be doing things like that. Where's my Latin?
Oh, Alice, is Henry in?
Yes, Sam, he's sitting here studying. Where have you been?
I found the ladder, but not the boy.
Sam, what on earth you have all over your shoes?
That is cement. They laid a new sidewalk over town and didn't even bother to rope it off.
Well, don't get it all over the carpet.
And what do you think I found a few minutes ago?
What?
A battery in the back seat of my car.
A battery, Father?
Tomorrow morning, Henry, you call up the police and find out who lost it.
Aye, Father?
And then after you've done that, you can go over to Mr. Edwards and get our ladder.
Yes, Father. I wonder why people think Halloween is a time for fun.
Henry Aldrich will be back in just a moment. And when you make out the grocery list for tomorrow, friends, be sure to include several packages of Jell-O puddings. They're easy to make, inexpensive, and really delicious. Ask your grocer for all three flavors: Jell-O chocolate pudding, Jell-O vanilla pudding, and Jell-O butterscotch pudding. Jell-O puddings are made by the makers of Jell-O, so you know they're good.
Good night, folks. Be seeing you next week, I hope.
Now listen in again next Thursday evening to the Aldrich family and to the Maxwell House Coffee Time program, which immediately precedes it on most of these stations. A solid hour of sparkling radio entertainment every Thursday night. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith. Original music is composed and conducted by Jack Miller. Now, this is Harry Von Zell bidding you all good night.
It's your grocer, folks, calling up to let you know about our special this week on Bird's Eye Quick Frozen Haddock Fillets. Say, what really good haddock it is, too. Chock full of that fresh-tasting, deep-sea flavor. And don't bother to look for any bones, because Bird's Eye Haddock is all cleaned and boned for you, ready for the pan. Buy Bird's Eye Haddock Fillets tomorrow. They're especially low price all this week.
The makers of Chase and Sanborn Coffee bring you Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, and Mortimer Snerd with Ray Noble and his orchestra, Joan Merrill, yours truly, Jim Amici, and Charlie's special guest, Orson Welles. And now we have a song by that lovely, vivacious, charming personality, none other than...
Your obedient servant, Orson Welles. You may applaud if you care to.
What is it?
That's quite all right, gentlemen. Don't bother to curtsy.
Orson Welles. Long time no see. But not long enough.
Charles, it's indeed a great pleasure to meet my old compatriot and worthy opponent of many a battle of wits.
Yeah? Gee, do you mean that, or is this a booby trap?
Yes, Charles, I really mean it.
Well, that's nice, gentlemen. Then we should have a very pleasant reunion this evening.
Oh, I'm sorry, Edgar, but I must hurry off to give a very important lecture at the museum tonight.
You give a lecture at the museum?
Yes. I'll have you know I have brains. I'm not just a pretty face.
No, you're not. No. Charlie, let's attend Orson's lecture tonight. Yeah, that has possibilities, yeah.
Well, I doubt if you can find me. I'll be on the third floor among the anthropoid apes.
Well, wear your hat so we'll know you. Yeah.
We have very funny lines here tonight, don't you?
Please, stick to the script, Orson. Maybe he can't read. Oh, no.
Well, I shall prove it. I shall prove it by doing reading as only Orson Welles can do it. Would you like to hear a soliloquy from Hamlet or a speech from Julius Caesar?
I'd like to hear a song from Joan Merrill.
Oh, that's nice of you, Charlie. I'll be glad to sing for you.
You mean I don't give my reading?
No.
Very well. May I say it was nice being among friends, even though they weren't mine. Goodbye.
And now, Joni, getting back to your song.
How many hearts have you broken?
Oh, I really haven't kept track. Must be hundreds, even thousands. Must add them up sometime.
How many hearts have you broken with those great, big, beautiful eyes? Those great, big, beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies. How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me just then? I don't believe you mean it, but baby, kiss me again. How many hearts have you stranded on the dreamy road to romance? Baby, I'll take a chance. I need some lovin'. I just can't resist you, even though I'm wise. To how many hearts you have broken with those great, big, beautiful eyes. On the dreamy road to romance, baby, I'll take a chance. I need some lovin', just can't resist you, even though I'm wise to how many hearts you have broken with those great big, beautiful eyes.
Oh, Mr. Bergen?
Yes, Charlie?
You know, it's getting mighty close to Halloween time now.
Yes.
And I was wondering what you were going to do to make my Halloween a happy one.
I see.
Just wondering how much you were going to do, that's all.
I see. Well, of course, Charlie, I do want to do something.
Oh, I just knew you'd come through.
Yes.
Could you give me an inkling?
Well, yes, I know what I'll do.
What?
I'll tell you a ghost story.
A ghost story?
Yes.
Can you afford it?
Oh, yes.
I say, Edgar, old boy, couldn't you tell us one now?
Well, I'd be glad to, Ray.
Yes, I love ghost stories, you know. They frighten me out of my wits. Because it does me good to get out once in a while, you know.
May I listen to?
Well, of course, Joni. You know, I'd better hold your hand. You know, you might get scared.
Oh, Charlie, I'm not afraid of ghosts.
Oh, you're not. Well, I am, so you better hold mine then. There. You comfy now? Comfy yet?
Oh. Now, first of all, do you folks believe in ghosts?
I hardly believe in people.
All right. Well, you believe this one because it's not only a ghost story, but it's an actual experience.
They all start that way.
This one is an actual experience.
Tell it, don't sell it.
All right. You'll find this story very fascinating.
Well, hold everything while I put on my fascinator.
Yes, all right. To begin with, a friend of mine named Joe Franklin bought an old 8-room house in Hoosick Falls, which is a small town in upper New York.
How far is Hoosick Falls?
From where?
Thank you. Doesn't seem like the right answer.
No. Well, anyway, my friend bought this old 8-room house.
Was it a 2-story?
No, it's a ghost story. All right.
As a matter of fact, Joan, it was a 2-story house. But the upstairs was never used.
Why?
Because there was a rumor that it was haunted.
It was, huh?
Yes.
It was haunted, inhabited by ghosts.
Yeah, but look, didn't Joe Huzik know that before he bought the place?
Well, yeah. Well, no, Ray, his name is Joe Franklin, and the house is in Hoosick Falls.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, you want to watch that, do you?
Yes, I will.
Careful.
I will know. He's really sharp.
Yes, yeah.
Did Joe Falls know that when Hoosick was haunted? Oh, now, please.
The name is Franklin, and the house was in Hoosick Falls.
Well, don't get sore.
It was an 8-story, 2-room house. No.
Like you mean it was an 8-house, 2-story room?
Yeah, no.
Sounds very unlikely.
Yes.
Anybody live in it?
Well, of course. Hoosick lived downstairs.
Now, wait
And
a
raised
minute.
goats upstairs. I got that
Wait a
one.
minute. Who lived in what?
Mr. Poughkeepsie lived in Schenectady.
Oh, now stop it, Charlie. Now, if you don't want to hear this story, say so.
So?
No.
Oh, no, come on, chaps.
Huh?
Oh, no, come on, fellas. I mean, Edgar, tell us the rest of the story. Now, wait a minute. Let's get this clear. What is your friend's name?
Oh, let's forget he's my friend.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, forgetting friends. That's fine, huh?
Too good for him. No, I'm not too good for him, and I'm not forgetting friends.
You're not.
No.
Isn't so, Berkin? Isn't so?
No. I shall proceed. I was the first person brave enough to enter this house and spend the night in the upstairs bedroom.
Stout fella. The man has good... gumption. Fooled you, didn't I?
Yes. Boldly I walked up the stairs, and bravely I entered the room.
And then you fainted.
No, I didn't. At the stroke of midnight, I heard peculiar noises, as if someone were tapping on the walls. And I heard footsteps on the ceiling.
Where? Uh-huh. Snootful, huh?
No. First I thought the noise was a ghost, and then I thought it wasn't, and then I thought it was.
But this is no time for shilly-shallying. Either it was or it wasn't. Let's face it.
Then all of a sudden a white figure seemed to be moving around the room, moving around without a head.
I say, that's quite a coincidence, old boy. It really is. Yes, the other day, there was something running around my room without any legs.
No.
Yes.
What was it?
Water, old boy. Water.
Well, that settles it.
Settles what?
Well, I'm not going to finish the story.
Why?
I am not going to make a fool of myself.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yes. You're right. I have made a fool of myself.
Oh, come now, Bergen. You're so sensitive. And so right.
The crowning pleasure of the table, with meals, of course, is your coffee. Besides that, if you've chosen well, coffee by itself can be an occasion. When you've chosen Chase & Sanborn coffee, every cup is an occasion. Ample reason in itself to take a few moments mid-morning or mid-afternoon to enjoy its superb flavor. What's more, hand in hand with the extra flavor of Chase & Sanborn coffee comes the boost that helps you get things done. So, on every count, this longtime favorite goes on winning new friends every day. In the past year, more people changed to Chase & Sanborn coffee than to any other kind on the market. That's the biggest swing in coffee history, a swing to finer flavor. Take advantage of this opportunity. Get all the flavor you're entitled to. Get the product of 80 years of experience blending the choice coffees of the world. That's the secret of Chase & Sanborn flavor, the secret of your satisfaction. Always ask your grocer for Chase & Sanborn coffee.
Oh, Jim, Ray.
Yes, Edgar.
Yeah, I want you to both keep Tuesday night open. I've decided to give Charlie a Halloween party. and surprise him.
Why, certainly, Edgar. I'll be glad to come. Yes, me too. I say it sounds awfully jolly. Are we going to play games?
Yes, and I also want you to wear costumes.
Oh, fine. I'll wear my dark brown suit, put a lump of sugar behind each ear, pour cream on my head, and come as a cup of Chase and Sanborn coffee.
No.
And I'm going to put a candle in my mouth and come as a Johnny lamp.
Yeah. A Johnny Lamp.
Yeah, Johnny Lamp, yeah.
No. You mean a jack-o'-lantern?
Yes. Oh, you see, that way I can be lit all evening.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
You get it, don't you? I mean, about the lantern being lit.
Yes,
the lantern.
You don't have to go any farther, no?
Who else is coming, Edgar?
Well, I've invited everybody. Joan Merrill and, I almost forgot. Where's Mortimer? Mortimer! Help. Is you ain't, Mother again. All right. Well, Mortimer. Yep, that's me. Yes. Say, I want to tell you. Oh, quiet now, sure. Mortimer, I'm giving a party. Well, that's nice. Yes. Who's it for? It's Halloween. For Halloween. I don't believe I know him. It's a Halloween party. Oh, I see what you mean now. Yes, and you're invited. That's nice, ain't it? Well, of course it is. Do you want me to wear a false face? No. I don't think you'll need one. No. You're just flattering me. No, I'm not. Then we shall expect you. I say then we'll expect you. Expect me to what? To be at the party. Oh, yeah, I think so. I'll be there if I can get the time off from the job. You see, I got a job. You have a job? Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the way it goes, How to do? Yeah. What kind of work are you doing? I say, what kind of work are you doing? Well, I go to work, what was the question? What kind of work are you doing? Well, what do you call a fellow that washes a window? That washes a window? Yeah, you call him, a window washer? Yeah, that's right. Well, is that what you do? Yeah, that's what I do. Well, hanging on the outside of those buildings doesn't seem like a very good job. Yeah, well, it keeps me off the streets. Yes, it does, yeah. I hope. That's pretty good. Yeah. Marjorie, how long does it take you to wash your window? I say, how long does it take you to wash your window? Well, there's, that, of course, depends on. Yeah. On what? Well, on what's going on inside the window. Yeah. Do you get paid by the window? I say, do you get paid by the window? No. Get paid by the boss. By the boss, yeah. Mortimer, how can you be so stupid? Well, I get plenty of sleep and good exercise. I'm
From the song by the same name, the sweet music of Ray Noble and the lovely voice of Joan Merrill combine in Sweet and Lovely.
Heaven must have sent him my way. Skies up above me never were as blue as his eyes. And he loves me surprise. When he nestles in my arms so tenderly, there's a thrill that words cannot express. In my heart a song of love is taunting me. Melody haunting me. Sweet and lovely, sweeter than the roses in May. And he loves me. There is nothing more I can say. When he nestles in my arms so tenderly, there's a thrill that words cannot express. In my heart a song of love is haunting me. Melody haunting me. Sweet and lovely, sweeter than the roses in May. And he loves me. There is nothing more I can
This is it, fellas. Sure, this is it. And here's the entrance right here.
Yes, but are you sure Mr. Wells is here?
Well, it says Museum of History. Come on, let's go in, huh?
All right.
Well, you know, fellas, this should be interesting. I hope it's free.
Right this way, gentlemen. Buy your tickets here. Buy your tickets
Oh, you gotta
here.
buy
Step
tickets,
right up.
I see. Yeah, Ray, you and Charlie go ahead. I got a stone in my shoe.
Oh, come on, Bergen. He always pulls that near a box office.
I say, how much are they?
25 cents, children 10 cents, babes in arms free.
No, you don't, Bergen. Put me down.
All right.
Put me down.
That'll be 60 cents, bud.
But yes, 60 cents. Yes. But my name is Edgar Bergen.
Sorry, bud, all people have names.
Yeah. All right, here's your money.
Here's your tickets. Thanks, suckers.
I'm certainly going to report that smart aleck.
Here you are, folks. Get your programs. You can't tell a chattering baboon from your mother-in-law without a program.
Why, Orson, I thought you were giving a lecture here. What are you doing with that guide coat on?
Well, it's rather cold in here.
I see.
That explanation ain't so hot either.
But don't tell me, Orson, that you're just a guide.
Well, certainly. I'll do anything to further the cause of education and also to pick up an extra buck.
Well, I have a complaint to make. After we paid our admission, the ticket seller called us suckers.
There's no admission charge here.
There isn't?
No, sucker. Sir.
Wait a minute. Now, here's the tickets right here. It says good for one admission to the New York World's Fair.
Well, there you go.
No, fellas. Look, we came to hear a lecture. So, get on with it, my good man. Very well. Gentlemen, right over here is the first exhibit. It starts with the evolution of man. It was over 80 million years ago that Lobar mollussus, or the lungfish, first crawled out of the deep abysmal swamp, reeking with a dank, sultry smell of fetid vegetation. What do you suppose it did?
Held its nose? No.
No, it continued to adapt itself to its new environment, so that upon that supposition we believe that man is a descendant of the fish.
Are you descended from a fish, Ray?
Well, of course. I must confess that in the spring I do have a mad desire to swim upstream.
You know.
On my left, we have the mastodoni, the triceratops, and the monoclonias.
Leaving on track 2.
And in this group are the tyrannosaurs, the brontosaurs, and the dinosaurs.
And a whiskey sour.
Make it 2. Please, quiet. Are there any questions?
When did they live?
Well, they were here as recently as 15 million years ago.
Oh, that's a shame. We just missed them.
I say, was this fossil a man-killing beast?
No, this was a docile fossil.
Yeah.
And stop feeding it peanuts. Can't you see it's only a skeleton?
I know, old chap. I was only feeding him the shells.
Well, in that case. Now, let's all get back to the Miocene age.
You go. I'll wait here.
This period goes way back when old faithful Geyser was just a little squirt. Or even before the Dead Sea took thick. Isn't that keen? I made that up myself.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Yeah. Orson, you're forcing.
Let's see now. Where was I?
Yeah.
There's something interesting. Something very interesting. Oh, yes, I was talking about myself.
Yeah.
Are there any questions?
How can we get our money back?
Now, if you'll step a little closer, we want to keep the sidewalk clear. I'd like to give you a scientific demonstration of the little marble potato peeler. No, I'm sorry. That's another lecture I have. It's quite a different subject now.
Say, what is that skeleton?
Well, it's the duck-billed dinosaur, or trachodon.
Well, make up your mind. Which one is it?
Well, it's one and the same.
Oh.
You know, there are some people who actually don't know the difference between a stegosaurus from a brontosaurus. They just don't.
Oh, heavens. Let's have nothing to do with them.
Are there any questions?
Yes. Where can we get another guide?
Quiet.
A good point.
Now, over here we have the Hall of Living Mammals.
Well, where are the pebbles?
Home with the kittles.
Oh.
And shut up.
Yeah.
Now we come to the Paleontologic exhibit. Here's the Neanderthal or Homo neanderthalensis.
They hardly got in, did they? What does that mean?
The Homo neanderthalensis?
Yes. Yes.
I'm darned if I know, but doesn't it sound impressive?
Yes, it does.
Now, according to the genealogist, there was the trineal man, or Pithecanthropus, followed by the Piltdown man, or Eoanthropus ventriloquus burgoni.
Yes. Would you mind dragging that past again in low gear?
Quiet, please. You're so noisy I can't hear what I'm saying.
You're not missing a thing.
Now, in this case here, we have the perfect example of the pre-Neanderthal man, or missing link.
Yeah, but Professor...
Notice the expressionless eyes, the receding forehead, and the flat cranium.
Yes, but Professor...
It's the most illiterate face I ever looked at.
I got a TL for you. You're looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
Well, Edgar, how was your visit to the museum?
Well, it was very interesting. We learned all about the Neanderthal man, the Cro-Magnon man, and the Java man.
Well, speaking of Java, man, that really starts me on a train of pleasant memories. Of good food, good company, and your own good pleasure at sight of a cup and saucer. The sight of your coffee cup is a promise, too, when there's Chase and Sanborn coffee on hand. The promise of all the coffee satisfaction a cup can possibly hold. So fill it up, drink up, and have another. Enjoy the richer, more flavorful blend that made the second cup famous. Through the past 80 years, Chase and Sanborn flavor has made history, become a tradition. And in the past year, more people changed to Chase and Sanborn coffee than to any other kind on the market. That's the biggest swing in coffee history. But even so, it's only half the story. Besides that, in the hotel and restaurant field, where coffee simply has to be good, Chase and Sanborn are the leading coffee roasters. You're entitled to all this extra goodness, so make sure that you get it. Ask your grocer for delicious Chase and Sanborn coffee every time.
Well, Charlie, after visiting the museum, I suppose you can tell your schoolmates where all the prehistoric monsters came from now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from the prehistoric club.
No, they remember, they came from the Ice Age.
Yeah.
And that was way back when Mother Nature, for thousands of years, wore an ice cap.
Boy, she must have had a terrific hangover.
Yes. And do you realize those dinosaurs we looked at in the museum?
Yeah.
Do you realize that they weighed 30 tons? No. Yes. 30 tons? Yes. Is that strip? Yeah, the strip. Yes.
Be with us again next week when Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, Effie Clinker, Orson Welles, Joan Merrill, Ray Noble, and all of us will be on hand. And Charlie will take over tips on models with that famous authority on the subject, Mr. John Bowers. This week, when you're buying coffee, think of us and ask for Chase and Sanborn coffee. Coffee made to serve in times like these. This is Jim Amici saying good night from New York's Radio City.
Friends, you already know about vitamins, but here's something you may not know. According to a U.S. government survey, 3 out of 4 people were not getting an adequate diet. Thus, they probably lacked not merely vitamins, but minerals as well. More than that, science tells us that without adequate minerals, you cannot even hope to get the full benefit of some vitamins. And that's why millions will want to try exciting new STAMS tablets. For STAMS give you both vitamins and minerals. Yes, STAMS give you minerals, too. Not just a few, but 9. 9 minerals. And these 9 minerals are added to 8 vitamins, including every vitamin as well as every mineral recognized as essential by the U.S. government. Yes, 8 vitamins plus 9 minerals are in STAMS. Just read the label for full information and dosage. And today, ask your druggist for STAMS. STAMS.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Black Museum is a repository of death. Yes, here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of homicide, where everyday objects, a glass ashtray, a porcelain vase, an electric fan, all are touched by murder. Here's a piece of iron chain. It's a familiar object. Might be a bar on a gravel driveway. It might rest in an emergency truck, a use in towing an automobile. It might. In this case, it was the cause of death. Remember this, Brodsby?
Hey, of course, Inspector. You knew, didn't you? We just about then closed the file on the Telp killing.
Yes, you told me. It's just as well there's no statute of limitations on murder. And today that chain can be seen in its place in the Black Museum.
From the annals of the Criminal Investigation Department of the London Police, we bring you the dramatic stories of the crimes recorded by the objects in Scotland Yard's Gallery of Death, the Black Museum.
Well, here we are, the Black Museum. Scotland Yard's Museum of Murder. Here lies death. And this is different, quite different from a graveyard. Tombstones mark only the mounds beneath which dust has returned to dust. But these white cards, with the neat black lettering, designate the means of death. And in every case, it's in violence. What do you associate with the words, with the sound, chain? Ships and anchors, slavery, bars and prisons, maybe? Oh, hardly with a young girl of 23, seated in a hard chair in the bare office of Inspector Hall, Scotland Yard. I'm sorry to ask you to repeat that statement, Miss Tomlinson. You'll understand that I find it rather hard to believe. You feel the same way, don't you, Sergeant? Oh, I do, sir. No doubt about it, I do.
I rather expected you would, Inspector. In modern times, no one believes in ghosts.
Do you, Miss Tomlinson?
But I didn't. Now I do.
And you've no explanation for these, phenomena?
If I had, I wouldn't be here, Inspector. You must believe me. There is a ghost, and I'm frightened.
You mean, Miss Tomlinson, there are noises in the night, and they frighten you?
Noises. And the voice. My father's voice. He wants me out of the house. Well, why should he want me out when you left it to me? When we were so happy there together.
Just you and your father?
Mother died when I was very little. I hardly knew her. Now there's only myself.
And the house? Haunted. I see. Does this ghost, by any chance, rattle chains?
Yes. Oh, it's a horrible sound.
Apparently the good inspector had his own ideas about this ghost. In fact, after Joan Tomlinson left his office. Interested, Preston? In ghosts? Little, sir. In good-looking heiresses, Sergeant. Oh, that, sir. No, sir. But it might be possible that someone else is, or in her property. Perhaps. Well, look into it, Preston. If we don't, the odds are the young lady will be back until we do. Let me have a report in the morning. The morning was 8 hours away. Sergeant Preston walked up the quiet street in the London suburb where each house stood alone on its own plot of ground. Even in the inadequate light from the street lamps, the sergeant could see something of well-kept lawns and trim hedges. He turned into the concrete driveway, skirted two garages, tended back gardens, finding his way to a screened back porch where a light showed briefly.
You came, Sergeant.
Thank you for the light.
My torch. I didn't want you to try the wrong house. This way. I thought we'd wait in the upstairs sitting room.
Whatever you think best, miss. It's your ghost.
Yes, isn't it? The stairs are this way.
The sergeant felt rather than saw in the darkness that it was a large house. Seemed to be several rooms on the ground floor, and upstairs they passed 3 closed doors before they entered the sitting room, which apparently extended the full width of the building.
That's the comfortable chair. It was Father's.
Thank you, miss.
A drink?
No, thank you. I'll smoke, if I may.
Yes, of course.
When does he come? Midnight?
Any time after I've gone to bed. Usually around now.
They waited. Nothing. Think he'll come tonight, miss? What's that?
It's starting. You'll see. It's starting.
Inspector, oh, never any fella.
Do you hear it, Sergeant? Do you?
How can I help it, miss?
Tony, can you hear me?
It's just it sounds so like him.
Tony, I can't rest. I can't. Not with you. Alone. Alone. In the house. Oh.
It's human. It's got to be. Does it, Sergeant, really? Does it have to be human? You ever been to a seance, Sergeant? Have you ever heard of the researches of Conan Doyle and dozens of others?
No, do you believe me, Sergeant?
There's something, miss.
Well, who could sound like my father? Who? Who would call me Tony? Oh, all right. I might as well have some lights now. It won't come back until tomorrow night.
I see. Only once a night.
Yes. But don't you want to search the house or anything?
Well, Sergeant, don't you? If this thing is human, there ought to be some trace, Sergeant. Oughtn't there? Whatever it is will be gone now. Maybe tomorrow night.
Well, you report this to the inspector. Please.
Yes, of course. Shouldn't you go to a hotel for a while, miss, till this is cleared up?
Oh, I thought of that a week ago, Sergeant. But, well, I like my own room. And if it isn't my father, he won't harm me. He'd never do that.
You're very certain of that, aren't you, young lady? Aren't you a bit confused? If you believe that, why worry? Why go to the police, to the yard? Why be frightened of a fatherly ghost? Well, the sergeant asked that.
I know, but I wanted someone else to hear him. I was scared. Maybe I was imagining things. I'll be all right, Sergeant. I expect I'm safe in my own house.
And so you send the sergeant on his way, the sergeant who ought to have searched the house. You take him down the back stairs and out the back door, Joan. You can go upstairs, alone, to your own room, and start to undress. Talk to yourself, give yourself courage.
Stop it, Joan, stop it. Stop it here. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're not going crazy. You... The light...
Joan.
Yes, Dad. Yes?
Go away, Joan. Go away before I have to hurt you. I don't want to. If I have to hurt you, leave the house. Go away quickly. Don't let me get you. Run! Run!
Yes, run. Run, Joan, run. Menacing is now. Run, Joan, out into the black hallway down the front stairs. Run!
Help! Somebody help me!
I waited about, miss. Thought he might come back. Heard you scream. Now, see here, miss. You're going straight to hospital, and I'm going straight to the inspector. I don't like the looks of it. Not a bit. Well, who would like the looks of it? Particularly if you didn't believe in ghosts. And, of course, Inspector Hall didn't believe in ghosts. Standing beside Joan in her room at the hospital, he was quite explicit. It's a mighty corporeal ghost, miss.
How do you know, Inspector?
Your twisted ankle. That was no accident. A stair tread was sawn through. I understand ghosts have difficulty with cross-cut saws. Miss Tomlinson, do you have any next of kin? That is, anyone who might benefit if anything happened to you?
Oh, only with some second cousins. I haven't seen them in years.
They live in London?
Oh, I know. There was Larry Pelk. He was in Manchester. I had a note after Father died. And Jerry Hennessy, he lives in Norwich. Yes, I think. And yes, of course. Ruth Carstairs. Father spoke of her. She's a school teacher. The oldest. A school in Bristol. But that's impossible, Inspector. None of them
would want you out of the way.
No, of course not.
I see. Then, how do you account for this, Miss Tomlinson, Sergeant? Yes, here it is.
But where did you...
In the cellar of your house, under some burlap bags, right near the furnace, Miss Tomlinson. The furnace with its tin ducts to the registers in the room above.
Many youngsters use these echoing ducts to imitate a ghost or to overhear what was going on in another room. As I said before, Miss Tomlinson, this is a mighty corporeal ghost. He soars through stairs. He uses hot air ducts to amplify his voice. He carries his own sound. I don't like this any more than Sergeant Preston does, miss. I don't like it at all.
And today, that same chain can be seen in the museum.
Iron chain. The hardy ducks there, they always rule only half of this, but almost plans, a motive. Inspector Hull had no illusions about going to about the dangers from Thompson. All right, get to work, miss. There's the curtain back. Now the girl says it was a visit. Where is a will not away? Start someone thinking. The girl was wrong about her ghost. She can be wrong about her cousins. Get the wires out, Preston. And I want an unobtrusive guard on the house, 24 hours a day. You've got the names of those people she mentioned?
Simple, routine. Teletype messages. Advise earliest convenience. And the advice came so conveniently early that Inspector Hull, who sat at his desk with the 3 that the labor before him, remarked to Sergeant Preston.
It's unbelievable, Sergeant.
Coincidence?
Coincidence, my foot. All 3 dead, a few days of each other. All 3 trials unsolved. Helk, July 6th. Tennessee, July 8th. Carstairs, July 12th. Sergeant, under no circumstances is that girl to be permitted to leave the hospital. That's an order. She's safe there.
How long, Inspector?
Until I get back.
Back, sir?
Don't look blank, Preston. Just look at these telegraph replies. I'm making a cook's tour of these 3 cities. Manchester, Norwich, and Bristol. Obviously, I need facts. There seem to be quite a few facts in Manchester, Norwich, and Bristol.
England is very large, so you train fast. In Manchester.
I understand, Bardsley, that the Telk case was in your hands.
Aye, that's correct, sir.
Well, how far yet?
No motive. Nothing. Just this man Telk walking home alone on a July night. Toward 11. A dark street. A carving knife in his back. That's all.
A night train to Norwich. Another police headquarters, another detective. Anxious to cooperate.
Here it is, Inspector. All we have on the Hennessy case.
Tell me about it, Wilson.
Hit and run driver. I checked the scene myself. Hennessy was hit on the sidewalk. Looked as if some drunk had driven right up on the walk and crushed the man against the building wall.
And so a pattern emerges. 2 men die, quite unexpectedly, but in this case, no clues, no indications there was purpose or motive, except that a 3rd man died quite naturally in London, and his daughter was the victim of fright, and all those involved were related to each other. As a pattern emerges. Continued in Bristol.
All right, Albert. What have you on the card table? I believe she was retired.
Quite as usual. I think she took some headache and did a blind stroke. Unfortunately for her, one had stick in the bottle.
I know it's kind of mess. Nothing. Anything else?
The prints on the bottle? No. She's put some wear and she took the bottle out of the tablet. Her landlady said she had a visitor the day before, but usually, foremost you all that sort of thing.
Mind if I go with that landlady?
No, not at all. Her name is Ross. Help yourself. Quite a talker, that woman. Got away. It was a semi-detached villa with a vacancy sign on the door. Mrs. Ross was indeed quite a talker. Inspector Hull let her talk.
At least 15 years. Oh, a wonderful woman, Inspector, sir. So many of our students come to see her, even after she retired. The kind of teacher you don't find nowadays.
I know exactly what you mean, ma'am.
And she was so happy that day, what with her cousin being here the day before and all.
Her cousin, Mrs. Ross?
Yes, I remember it clearly. She called. She was going out for a bit of cake for tea, now that her cousin Michael Stroud had come to see her.
A new name. Another cousin. One Michael Stroud. Carefully now, Inspector. Carefully.
You don't happen to know where he was from now, do you, ma'am?
Oh, from London. I have the address. found an envelope in the waste paper basket while I was clearing out the poor thing's room.
Did you tell this to the police?
No, sir. They were so busy with their bustle and dusting everything for fingerprint sake.
Yes, of course. Now, Mrs. Ross, may I have that address, please? That is, if you still have it.
A teletype message travels much faster than a train from Bristol to London. By the time the inspector reached his office, Sergeant Preston was waiting with the answer.
We've been there, sir. Michael Stroud had a flat at the address, but he's moved and left no forwarding address.
Oh, when did he move out?
July 13, sir. The day after the Carstairs woman died.
When the quarry is escaping, what do? Or at least you can do it. Close some of the gaps in the situation. Try to develop motive and opportunity. The inspector permitted Joan Tomlinson to leave the hospital and to proceed in his company to the office of the solicitor.
Now, sit down, Joan. And to Inspector.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you. I gather something is amiss. Mr. Thomas, we have reason to believe that 3 people have died because of Miss Tomlinson's inheritance, and that her own life is in danger. Well, that's unbelievable, sir. It usually is. However, the 3 who are dead were all second cousins of Miss Tomlinson, her next of kin. What we are here to find out is, does the will under which she inherits her property state to whom that property devises in the event of her death?
Not exactly. That is, if she dies intestate, the property under the law would pass to her next of kin in equal shares, of course.
Mr. Thomas, with all her second cousins dead, a third cousin would be next in line, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, I know of no such relative, sir.
Unfortunately, sir, we do. His name is Michael Stroud. His whereabouts at present are unknown.
Motive, present. Very definitely present. Opportunity, obvious. And seized at least 3 times. In Manchester, Norwich, and Bristol. As to the next move, the inspector outlined a plan. Briefing.
Miss Tomlinson, do you still believe in ghosts?
No, not.
Would you be afraid to stay alone?
I see. I'm due to see it again.
Absolutely.
You will? Will you?
Well, they began. Joan left the hospital, returned to her house. To the memories. To the now silent ducts. To the still chiming clock. The first night was uneventful. Others followed. Bit by bit, Joan slipped back into her normal everyday routine, a girl in her home with a servant during the day, alone at night. The ghost. The 3 deaths in 3 cities. The inspector began to take on aspects of a dream. Reality was coming home after an evening in the city, going upstairs, listening for the little clock. Preparing for sleep, indulging a little habit of talking to herself.
There's nothing to worry about. Really nothing. He's gone away. Out of the country, maybe. Oh, forget Michael Stroud, Johnny. Forget the whole thing. What's that?
How are you, John? Feeling well? And safe?
Get out. Whoever you are.
That won't work, Johnny. You know I'm your cousin, Michael. Come to call.
I never saw you before.
In my life? I know, dear. And now that you have seen me, what else is there to live for?
You couldn't get away with it.
Oh, yes, I could. I can. I will. You'll be a lovely suicide, dear. Carbon monoxide from the register, from the furnace. Or maybe they'll call it accidental death.
Inspector Howard find you.
Oh?
He let away you.
I doubt it. He wasn't around to seize me tonight, was he? And I'm very good at hiding. More than ever tie me to Cousin Larry or Cousin Jerry or Cousin...
They will. They have. There are fingerprints.
Ah, there now. That's their worry, not mine. Now sit down. In that chair. chair.
I won't.
Sit down. I have it planned perfectly, John. You'll sit down, I'll tie you in that chair, shut the windows, the door, turn on the heat. You'll be gagged, too. I forgot to mention that. You'll die.
No.
I'll come back, put you on the bed.
No! That won't! You can't make me!
I said sit down and shut up.
Take him in charge, Sergeant. We have enough.
A cat. We're throwing the bait.
Sergeant, look out! Thank you, sir, for getting his gun away, sir. Nicely handled, Sergeant. You all right, Miss Tomlinson?
Yes, I think so. He is a very corporeal ghost. Isn't he, Inspector?
Definitely. And I believe his corporeal fingerprints will match those in the handle of a very corporeal knife in Manchester, a steering wheel in Norwich, a bottle in Bristol, and a certain chain in the possession of Scotland Yard.
The case was clear. The defense was helpless. The case was closed at the traditional time one morning in the usual manner. And Michael Stroud at the hands of the Crown became forever an incorporeal ghost. And the chain remains in its usual place in Scotland Yard. And now until we meet next time, I tell you another story of the Black Museum. I remain as always obediently yours.
Sunrise and sunset, promise and fulfillment, birth and death. The whole drama of life is written in the sands of time.
We present a new series of radio programs, The Clock.
Time is a good bookkeeper. He keeps his dates in order. And every event is duly attested to and recorded on his voluminous pages. The importance of these events is a matter of personal opinion, however. An astronomer might point with pride, for example, to an entry on page 8,745,319. It is written there that a ninth planet named Pluto, which is nearly 4 billion miles from the sun, was discovered at Lowell Observatory, Flagstaff, Arizona, in January 1930. Its size is approximately 3,600 miles in diameter. On the opposite page, some 17 years later, another discovery is recorded. This, too, was a planet, but one which our astronomers would have no interest in. He was a planet in his own particular roughhouse way. His name was Hagen. His size, 5 foot 11 inches. His weight, 165. And his temperament, murderous.
You like the fights? Then you must have heard of Lefty Hagen. That's me. Fought as a middleweight and a light heavy. You might have caught me at the garden when I put Tiger Terrace to sleep in the fifth, the right to the heart and the left to the button. Or maybe you see me in St. Nick's when I won a decision over Larry Keener with a technical KO after busting his jaw. Sure. Now you remember. Hagen, the sports writer's choice. The guy with a powerhouse left. What's that? Am I retired? Well, kinda. It's a long story, chum, and it started in Panama maybe 3-4 years ago. I wasn't a fighter then. I mean, I wasn't a pro. But I like to use my hands, see? I always did. If I'd go without a fight for more than a week, then maybe I'd have to pick me one. Yeah, and I picked me a good one in that Panama bar. Give me a drink.
What kind, mister?
Any kind you got.
Weston's Rye, the best in the house. And you new in town, mister?
Maybe.
Yeah, I ain't seen you around.
What are you, a barkeeper or a watchdog? Who asked if you see me around?
All right, friend, take it easy. No offense. Good stuff, ain't it?
It stinks.
At what?
That ain't liquor, it's bar scrapings. I say it stinks.
Okay, mister, you can do your lushing somewhere else. Pay up and get out of here.
Pay up? For that slop? You got a case.
So that's your racket.
What are you going to do about it?
Pay up, mister. All right, take it out of your hide.
Drop dead, you creep.
Why, you...
He came at me wide open. He started to swing. I blocked his hook with my right, then pushed my left into his beefy face. Felt his nose squash like an overripe tomato. Then I finished him with a cross to his button. Watched him hit the floor. Anybody else in this flea bag want to work on?
You're wasting your time, son.
You want to...
Wait a minute. My fighting days are over. I just want to talk. The bartender's coming, too. Give me a hand and help me lift him up.
Leave him lay. Looks better where he is.
I'll get the cops there. I'll put you in the clink for this. I'll fix your wagon, tough guy.
It was an accident, barkeep.
An accident?
Yeah. Here's $50 to prove it.
50? It's different. Okay, I'll forget it, but take him out of here. Get him out before I change my mind.
Just let me hammer his bridge work. This trip he won't come out so fast.
Nothing doing.
What?
I said nothing doing. You'll come with me.
Well, this stranger was a funny guy, but there was something about him that made you smile. He was short, maybe 5'3", and his build was trim. In Dempsey's time, he might have been a flyweight. I don't know why I followed him out, but I let him take me by the arm and walk me up the street just to hear what he had to say.
My name is Denny.
Denny what?
That's my last name. Nobody ever uses the first.
Hey, look, mister, you must have been nuts to shell out $50 for me. Yeah, but if you think you're getting it back, you're even daffier.
Never mind the 50. Let's talk about you. You know who you knocked out just now?
Sure. Beer-soaked stiff.
No. He's no stiff. He used to be known as Cruncher Cole. He was a heavy who fought for the best of them.
So what?
You could have left the dynamite, son, as soon as you learn how to use it.
What do you mean? I get by with it, don't I?
I know. Not with a guy who remembers how to block and counter. 6 months to a year, maybe. Might put you in shape.
In shape for what?
I don't know. The crown may be. That all depends on you.
Hey, say, what are you trying to promote?
Well, I used to be a fighter, son, and I managed a few in my time. And I can tell a natural when I see one, and I'll put my chips on you.
You mean you want to make a pro out of me?
You like to fight, don't you?
Does a baby like his bottle?
Then why not get paid for it? If you get to the top, you'll make a packet, and I'm the boy who can get you there.
You want to stake me?
Sure. But listen, if I do, you've got to follow my orders. No booze, no monkey business, no dams. Is it a deal?
Sure. What have I got to lose? Kept his word, all right, and he worked over me like I was a racehorse in his prime. I never got along with a guy the way I got along with Denny. I guess he was the first man I could ever call a friend. In 3 months, he had me in a shape I was never in before. My arms felt like piston rods. My belly was as flat as a board. Brother, I was dying to fight. We started out tour in Frisco, where I met Sailor McGee. I flattened him in 1 minute and 30 seconds. We moved on to Santa Fe. Well, there's no use going over the list. You must have read about it in all the papers. Stubby Grimes was leading contender for the crown, and by the time he reached New York, the papers was yelling for a match. Then he got one with the winner to meet the champ. And there was no question about who that winner was going to be. I stepped in fast at the bell and caught Grimes off his beat. He took a left to the head and went into a clinch. Then I bashed his kidneys like a tom-tom. Heard him grunt, saw him try to pull away. As we broke, I lowered my right. He put his guard down for half a second to block the jab, and I let him have it on the jaw with everything I had. And then he tore his head off, and his rubber guard popped out of his mouth into the first row seats. Went down to his knees and rolled over and took the count, and the crowd went wild.
8, 9, oh! The winner, Lefty Hagen!
10 minutes later, I was back in a dressing room sitting on a rubbing table. My gloves were still on, and Denny was trying to keep the mob out until I got dressed. Then, for the first time, I saw her. She was tall and blonde and lovely. She dressed like a princess, and she talked like a queen. She was class. Strictly class. From her high-heeled tootsies to the emeralds in her ears. She was just about what I'd been looking for all of my life. How she got into the dressing room, I don't know. She and her half-tanked boyfriend, but she was there. That's all I cared about. And for my money, she was there to stay.
I just had to come down and congratulate you, Mr. Hagen. I've never been so thrilled in all my life.
Oh, you liked the fight?
Liked it? Oh, you were wonderful.
Well, come on, Delilah. You've seen your gladiator. Let's get out of here.
Be quiet, Kenneth.
Hey, look, mister, don't you like it here? I never enjoyed the smell of perspiration and liniment. Then take a powder. Denny, show this goat the way out.
I'm afraid the lady'll have to leave, too. We don't usually allow any women down here, miss.
You still have your gloves on, Mr. Hagen.
Yeah.
May I touch your hand?
Well, the gloves, they got blood on them. Grimes' blood.
I don't care. Just let me touch them.
She ran her beautiful hands along the side of my glove, and they came up smeared with blood. She looked at them for a second, and then wiped them with a lace handkerchief that smelled from perfume. Then, without a word, she walked out the door. Hey, what a dame.
Come on, get dressed.
What are you so touchy about? I just knocked us this side of $500,000 gate, didn't I? Hey, boy, was that a woman.
Lefty. Remember I told you once that booze and women don't mix with this racket.
Denny was worried. And for what? Can't a guy look at a classy dame without being put in a corner and kept after school? Anyway, Denny was a creep.
Okay, Lefty. Get your clothes off and go to bed.
Where are you going?
Down to the hotel bar to have a short beer.
Sure. That's you, Denny. You're always having a short beer. If you want to know something, you're beginning to give me a short pain in the neck.
Now, look, Lefty. You know how I feel about you. Way more than just a pug and his manager. You're my boy. I know what's good for you. That blonde is off the list.
What's the matter? You want to get her address for yourself?
Now I know why you can fight so good. All your brains is in your mitts.
Yeah? Well, let me...
Don't answer it.
Beat it, will you? Yeah?
Mr. Hagen?
Yeah, speaking.
This is Delilah.
I know.
You can recognize my voice.
In a minute.
That's charming. I'm very flattered.
Hey, how did you know where I was staying?
When I want something, I manage to get it. And I want it you. Are you busy for the rest of the evening?
Not very.
Well, I'm throwing a little party in my apartment, and I'd love you to come.
What's the address?
I'm on Park Avenue. Let me send my chauffeur around to pick you up.
Okay, baby. Anything you say.
Will you be ready in 5 minutes?
I'm ready now.
Then I'll be seeing you later on, Mr. Hagen.
You're not going, Lefty.
Get out of my way.
That dame's poison. I could see when I first looked at her. Now, listen, I'd rather have you chumming up with a leopard.
She's poison, Denny. It's the kind of poison that keeps me happy. Now, look, you go down and have your beer, Grandpa. Tell you what, you be careful you don't slop any suds in that brand new tie. A fighter reckons his career from the point of view of time. There are only a limited number of years he can depend on, and he's usually through at the ripe old age of 35. In the space of a count of 10 seconds, he can win or lose a title. And in practically no time at all, the wrong woman can wreck his life. For the next 4 weeks, I did my training in the nightclubs with Delilah as my sparring partner. I used champagne for everything but gargling. If I got back home before 5 a.m., I figured the evening was a dud. Delilah was just what I guessed she was. Pure class. She was used to the best in food, the best in clothes, and the best in men. And she was getting the best of all three.
Fill my glass again, darling.
Anything your little heart desires.
But kiss me first. You haven't kissed me in 15 minutes.
I must be getting forgetful. Or I'm drinking too much champagne. Come here.
Oh, but you're so strong and so wild. Oh, you just take my breath away. You know, you should have been born in another era. You should have walked around in a lion's skin with a club on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's me. I would have been champ then, too. Champ of the caveman. That's Lefty Hagen. Hey, Say, Delilah.
Yes.
Whatever happened to that guy who was with you when you first came into my dressing room that night?
Kenneth.
Yeah, that's the creep, Kenneth. A slob in fancy clothes.
Well, he's in London now on business.
He a good friend of yours?
No, not really.
Oh.
He's my husband.
Are you kidding?
No. I married Kenneth 4 years ago.
Why, he's not right for you.
Darling, sometimes a lady has no choice. Sometimes she's forced to make a compromise.
Yeah, what do you mean, compromise?
When Father died, he left me nothing. And I'm not used to having nothing, so I married Kenneth. He has more money than he knows what to do with.
Yeah, but suppose he finds out about you and me.
Why should he find out? Oh, you're not afraid, are you?
Afraid? I could kick his ears off in 20 seconds.
Then forget about it.
Yeah, afraid.
What's that, darling?
Huh?
Fretting.
Hey, why didn't you tell me you were hitched?
I didn't think it was very important.
Well, I was figuring on making a little proposal myself.
Oh, no.
Hey, what's so funny?
Oh, darling, I wasn't laughing at you. It's just that it was so sweet of you to say that. It just made me so very happy.
Well, that's how it is. Look, divorce the goon.
Divorce him? With all that money?
Well, I'm not broke. Not by a long shot. I made $125,000 on my last fight, and I'm in for $250,000 when I conked the champ.
That's what Kenneth spent on his yacht last year.
He's got that much lettuce?
Oh, he's worth millions. And millions, darling, are what I require. What's that?
What?
I heard the door.
I didn't hear nothing. Then maybe you ought to get a doctor to examine your cauliflower ears.
Kenneth.
Glad to see you've been well entertained during my absence, Delilah.
Oh, I was just keeping myself from getting lonesome.
Didn't expect you back so soon, did you? I arrived at the airport an hour ago. I decided to surprise you. I wasn't disappointed. So maybe you're looking for trouble, mister. On the contrary. You may have my wife, Mr. Hagen, and you're welcome to her. At least you've given me the opportunity to get rid of her without having it cost me a cent.
You can't do this, Kenneth.
Can't I? Just wait, darling. See if I can. You've made a fool out of me ever since the day I married you, but I wouldn't give you the satisfaction of a settlement. I decided to wait until I had the evidence I needed. I have it now. Let him go, baby. Let him get out and stay out.
No. He'll cut me off, Lefty. Don't let him get out of that door. He said you'd do anything for me. Don't let him get out until he signs an agreement.
What?
You're going to settle $5 million on me before you leave this room.
You've gone out of your mind. You'll sign, mister, or else. Get out of my way, you cheap pug.
Lefty, stop it!
I didn't hit him hard. I swear I didn't. I just set him off balance, and Delilah did the rest. You see, she'd stuck her foot out and tripped him, and as he went down, he turned over the coffee table and broke a vase. But something happened we didn't expect. A piece of that busted vase went right through his neck, punctured his spinal cord like a spike in a rubber tire.
It was an accident, Lefty.
Why did you trip him?
Don't blame it on me. You hit him, didn't you?
Not hard. He wouldn't have keeled over if you hadn't stuck out.
Lefty, tell me what difference does it make? We're both in this, and he's dead.
What happens now?
We get out of it.
How?
I don't know yet.
Don't answer that.
Sit down and be quiet. Hello?
Is Lefty there?
Who is this?
Denny, the manager.
Yes. Yes, he's here.
Put him on if you don't mind.
He's in no condition to talk to you right now.
What, you mean he's drunk?
You'd better come up and take him home.
Well, look here, I ought to... All right, I'm coming right up.
What did you do that for? Have you gone nuts?
No. I've merely found a way. And a very good way for us to get out of this.
She had a way, all right. Like the rat I was, I backed her up. She made me leave the apartment and set Denny up for a perfect frame. The cops found him there with a body, and she told him he was the guy who croaked her husband. She said Denny was nuts about her, and she put on a crying act that was out of this world. But it was me who gave Denny the final punch. When I swore, he left me at the hotel for her apartment 3 hours before the guy was killed.
He hasn't got a chance.
No. You fixed that up.
What are you so unhappy about? I saved our necks, didn't I?
He was the only guy I ever knew who liked me. He was my manager and my friend.
I'll be your manager from now on, Lefty. I've got my money. And you have me. What more do we want?
Yeah, we got everything, ain't we? Everything plus. Denny had already signed me for a bout with the champ, and I had to put on an act and follow through. I trained on gin and whiskey, tried to forget that Denny's trial was coming up. But I couldn't forget. My loving Delilah wouldn't let me. The night of the fight, I weighed in at 173. I was fat around the middle, and my eyes were like a couple of bloodshot marbles. The crowd was big, and the gate was high, but when I stepped into the ring instead of Denny, I saw Delilah.
Darling, I had to tell you. I've got some wonderful news.
Yeah, what?
Danny's dead.
He's what?
It's in the papers. It just came out. They were taking him to the courthouse for the trial, and he tried to get away.
You mean they shot him?
No, they didn't have to. He was hit by a truck as he ran out of the car and crossed the street. Now you can fight, darling. You can fight to win. It's all over as far as we're concerned.
Get out of my sight, you tramp.
What?
Get out. That was the first time in my life I ever wanted to cry. I was sick inside of me, and I didn't have the strength to raise my arms. You heard what happened. The champ almost tore the top off my skull with a bunch of hooks and crosses. And then, sort of like the way I used to do it, he started to chop me up. After a while, I felt like I was in a glass case with nobody able to reach me. Then the case cracked open and it started to rain. And I woke up flat on my back inside my dressing room.
Lefty.
What's the matter?
Wake up, you lemon.
Delilah. Where's everybody? Where's my handlers?
I sent them away.
You what?
I paid them off and sent them away. I wanted to talk to you alone.
Let me sit up.
I don't like the way you acted before that fight.
No?
What's got into you? You looking for trouble?
I found all I needed when I found you.
Get this straight, Lefty. You're in this as deep as I am.
Yeah?
And don't you ever forget it. You're in it, and you're staying in it. Side by side with Mama.
Yeah, you're right. I'm in it. I can't get out.
We'll spend the rest of our lives together, you and me. So you may as well get used to it. I don't trust you, and you don't trust me. But a pair of cast-iron handcuffs couldn't keep us any closer.
We're gonna be just a loving couple, huh? Two lovebirds sitting on a nest of bones.
You wanted me once. What changed your mind? Why don't you ask me to marry you again? Why don't you propose to the girl of your dreams?
Why not? Why not? So we got married, and it was a perfect match. We spent our days watching each other, wondering who'd crack first. I'm living now on sleeping pills just to get a little rest. I keep thinking of Denny all the time. And she keeps reminding me that he's dead. Every time I see her, she reminds me of it, even though she don't open her mouth. Justice? This is justice. What I'm going through now is worse than the chair. She's got our lousy money, and I got her, and the two of us would be better off inside a grave. That's why you don't see Lefty Hagen around no more. That's why he's retired. It wasn't only my conscience that made me turn us into the cops. But something else. Something that blonde wildcat could never understand. Yeah, but she was right about one thing. We were in this together to the finish. She'll be parked right on top of her loving husband's lap when they turn the juice on as I'm sitting in the electric chair.
Yes, Time is an excellent bookkeeper, and his dates are in perfect order. There's an entry on the debit side, for instance, that records an event which takes place tonight in the Sing Sing Death House at 9:30 p.m. A double execution. 9:30. I've just marked it paid in full.
The Clock will be heard next week, same time. Written by Lawrence Klee, narrated by Hart McGuire. You heard Ken Wayne as Lefty, Margot Lee as Delilah, together with Ozzie Winburn and Gordon Glenwright. The Clock, directed by John Saul, is a Grace Gibson radio production.
Sorry, Mr. Hedges. This is all we can dig up on that story about the missing Hollywood people.
Well, we can't wait any longer. We got to go to press. Let's see what you got. Story from the film Capital. More than a week ago, November 20th to be exact, Philip Hayward, young cinema star of Yesterday's Bread, and the popular actress Judith Johnson set sail for New Zealand aboard Hayward's private yacht. As chaperone, Miss Johnson's movie director father accompanied the pair, and it's reported that Johnson Sr. is taking advantage of the sea voyage to complete his original cinema yarn, a story of the strange creatures who live beneath the surface of the sea. That was more than a week ago. Word's been received from New Zealand that the Hayward yacht's more than 2 days overdue. A careful check gives evidence that there have been no disturbances on the Pacific throughout the time the party's been aboard. Special searching parties failed to discover the whereabouts of the boat. The question in Hollywood tonight, the question everywhere, is what's happened to the trio aboard the Dolphin? Where are they? Have they become victims of the fantastic creatures created in the imagination of the author-director aboard the yacht? That is this week's Unsolved Mystery. Will it ever be? Oh, that's all right. Boy.
Right.
Get this down to makeup. Let's get rolling.
Right away.
Confound it, Hayward. Stop that fool noise, will you?
Oh, take it easy, Johnson. No reason to start shouting at each other, you know.
Now, look here. We've been becalmed for 2 days and a night now. We haven't moved a knot one way or the other.
I assure you there's nothing wrong with the motors. I've been over them myself. For some fantastic reason, they just refuse to start again.
Why? Why won't they start?
I don't know. Why did they stop in the first place?
Oh, it's weird. It's like some strange spirit has descended upon the boat.
Oh, nonsense.
Is it nonsense? There are many terrifying legends about sea spirits, fantastic adventures that have happened to sailors at sea.
Oh, just a lot of myths.
Who knows what strange creatures lurk beneath the sea's surface? Who can tell what might come up out of the depths at any moment?
Oh, stop it. You're talking like a superstitious old fool. You made too many goofy movies. Just because you won an Academy Award is no sign I'm going to swallow the tripe you dish out in those 8 real clam bakes of yours.
No.
Judy.
You can't.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
You cannot. No. I won't let you.
Daughter, hey, wake up.
No, you can't do it. No. No, I say. No. No.
Judy, darling. What in the name of heaven?
Judy, are you all right?
Oh, I was asleep, dreaming. Oh, it was horrible.
I'd say it was a nightmare.
I dreamed I was talking to a young girl. Yet she didn't seem like a girl at all. She looked more like a mermaid.
A what?
She was like a nymph from the sea. I thought she stood looking at me. She told me she'd been dead for centuries, and yet not really dead. I couldn't understand what she meant. She said something about her body being dead, but her mind being free to wander about the world.
Fantastic.
Oh, Dad, it was ghastly. She kept trying to convince me that I should let her mind enter my body.
Well, what did she say she wanted to do?
She said the entire civilization of the earth depended upon the task she had to perform. Oh, Phil, she seemed to be actually trying to force me out of my body so she could enter it.
Judy, what did this creature look like?
Oh, she was awful looking, Dad.
She had long hair, green and slimy like seaweed. Her teeth were brilliant red. They were long and pointed. She kept staring at me with her little beady eyes. They were horrible, for there were no eyelids. She never blinked once. She just stared and stared.
Yes? What else, Judy?
Well, it was horrible when she touched me. She had long, narrow fingers with no nails on them, and they were covered with fish-like scales.
That's positively the most amazing thing I've ever heard of.
Mr. Hayward! Mr. Hayward! Oh, yes, Ned. What is it?
Oh, I say, look at the lad. Why, what's wrong, boy? You're pale as a ghost.
Mr. Hayward, the dolphin. She's moving. The boat's moving. Good. The men got the motor started. No, sir. That's just it. The motors aren't running, and there's no wind. But the boat's making about 20 knots an hour.
Oh. Why, this boat couldn't possibly move without motors.
That's not all. There's a man at the helm steering the boat. And he's a man none of us have ever seen before. Ned, are you sure? Sure as I'm standing here, sir. And he's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Well, let's go have a look at him.
Hey, come on. Judith, you'd best stay here.
Oh, no. No, I'm not going to stay here by myself.
All right, come along, all of you. Follow me. Standing up there at the helm, singing.
Some sort of an ancient sea chanty.
Easy now. Maybe trouble. There he is, sir. You see, Mr. Hayward?
Oh.
Yeah.
I say, Hayward, that's no man. It's some sort of a sea monster.
Look at his hands, Mr. Hayward.
The lad's right. Long, narrow fingers with webs between them. And no fingernails.
Dad, they're like the hands of the girl in the dream. Oh, where's he taking us?
Yes. I wonder.
Behind us, sir.
Oh, good Lord. A huge wall of water rising out of the sea.
Get down those steps, everybody. Get down, everybody. Down the steps here into the cabin. Hang on, hurry. Everybody all right?
Yes, I am. Did Judy get down in the cabin?
Yes, she made it. Just managed to close the door before the wave hit.
Are you all right?
Yes, okay. You, Judy?
Oh, what in the world caused that?
Yeah, what? No wind. And a wave of water, hundreds of feet high.
It's a miracle we didn't capsize.
Look, sir. To the port side. Yes, Ned?
It's land. Land, by heaven.
It can't be. Not in these waters. There's no land for 500 miles.
And what's that over yonder? Mirage?
No, sir. That's no mirage. It's land.
It certainly is. Long, low coast. Extending north and south as far as you can see.
A low, steaming land. Look. Look at the heavy vapors rising from it.
You're right, Judy. It is steaming. That must explain the sultriness that's been round us these past 2 days.
Why, I've been in these waters a dozen times. This has never been here before. It's an entire continent, where there ought not to be anything but empty sea.
Land from the sea. That explains the wave that swept over us. A wave that high could only have been caused by an undersea disturbance.
Oh, nonsense, Johnston. You're trying to say an underwater convulsion forced this vast expanse of land up to the surface.
Precisely. A land called Iban.
Now, I'll have to have a better explanation than that. Things like entire continents rising up out of the ocean just don't happen.
Well, then, if Dad's not correct, what is the explanation?
There is no other. A land called Iban did exist at one time. nearly 10,000 years ago, ruled by a man named Boole and a woman named Lana. They both possessed wonderful powers and knowledge. Boole, the emperor, destroyed the continent of the V-band.
How?
By releasing vast, unknown forces beneath the continent. Forces that only he and Lana knew how to control.
But why did he destroy it?
I don't seem to recall. I read the legend once, doing research for one of my pictures. It seems that for some reason or other, Boole and the girl were to release their spirits from their bodies. And those spirits were to have the power someday of recalling the sunken land from the sea.
Then if such a story is true, that must be the land of Eban we're approaching.
Not at all impossible. And if it is true, couldn't that monstrous chanting thing at the helm be Boole himself, taking us with him back to his long-lost kingdom?
You don't actually believe that, do you, Johnston?
Why not?
Well, I certainly don't.
Well, Phil, what else can we believe?
That wave couldn't have swept us off our course enough to put us in sight of this land. Besides, look at it. Steaming. And that sultry, foul odor. Land covered with seaweed.
There's no one at the helm, sir. That monster's disappeared.
Oh, but look. There's someone lying on the deck beneath the wheel.
It's a man.
Yeah, maybe that thing's met with a bit of hard luck. Now, careful, Hayward.
Right.
He's breathing. Only slightly.
I see. Who is he? Not a member of the crew.
How'd he get on board? Why is he lying here on deck?
What happened to him?
Oh, he's conscious. He's trying to tell us something. Look here. Who are you?
Stowaway. Hid in supply room. Went to sleep. I don't remember anything.
Stowaway, he says. Hid in the supply room and went to sleep. Wait a minute. He's dead. Hayward, I'm going to have a look over here.
Oh, Judy.
Oh, Phil, I feel so strange.
Oh, dear, you look ill.
So very strange.
You'd better go below to the cabin, dear.
Yes, I'd better. I'll lie down for a while.
Shall I go with you, dear?
No, I'll be all right if I rest a little while.
All right, dear. Be careful going to your cabin. Yes. Oh, Ned. Get a tarpaulin and cover the body.
Right away, sir. Hayward, come over here a minute, will you?
Yes, Johnson. What is it?
There. Have a look. See? Someone's climbed down that rope ladder and gone ashore through the mud and slime.
Whoever it was, he didn't sink in very deep.
Seaweed's too thick. Kept him from sinking. I wonder who it was.
I'm in favor of finding out. Oh, Ned.
Yes, sir?
We're going ashore. Watch out for Miss Blake, will you?
Right, sir.
And not a word of this to the rest of the crew, understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, Johnston. Down you go. Now, we'll follow those footprints and see where they lead us.
The most evil-smelling place I was ever in. Hold on. Look.
Yeah. I see what you mean. A city up ahead there.
A city. From the depths of the sea.
I see, Johnston. Isn't that Captain Webb going into that low-domed building over there?
Eh? Oh, yes. Yes, it is. So that's our man.
Ahoy, Captain! Captain Webb! Wait a minute, Captain. Hold up a bit.
Hayward. He's turned around. That snarl on his face. He's got a gun in his hand. Hayward. It isn't Webb. It's that thing.
What in the name of heaven is...
Stand back, the two of you. Stand back.
What? You're not Captain Webb.
I am Boole, Emperor of Eban. And I've returned to claim again my ancient kingdom. If you come one step nearer, I shall be compelled to slay you.
You dare not, Boole.
Lana! Judy.
You seem surprised, Boole. Did you think I would forget?
Lana! Judy, darling, what does this mean? Why do you speak so strangely? And why does this thing call you Lana?
I am Lana, Philip Hayward. I have borrowed for a while the body of your beloved Judy.
What?
My mind, my spirit has entered her body. You see me as Judith Johnston, but now I am Lana, Empress of the Kingdom of Eban.
I have returned to rule Eban.
And I have returned to prevent.
You cannot prevent it, Lana.
Look here. This quarrel is none of my affair. I demand that you release whatever power you have over my fiancée.
I have borrowed her body only for a little while, Philip Hayward. Just as Boole has borrowed the body of the captain of your craft.
Yeah. The body I first borrowed was a weak one, a sick stowaway. The captain's is a sturdy body. Now it is mine.
But you must return it to him, Boole. It is the law. You must return his body unharmed, just as I must return the body of Judith Johnson.
It shall be so. I am about to enter the temple now to regain my Ebonite body.
You cannot open the burial chamber unless I accompany you.
I realize that full well. I enter the temple now. I shall await you, Lana, beside the sepulchre.
Look here, Lana. Oh, whoever you are, well, this is some horrible nightmare.
Philip Hayward, we must act quickly. I will try to explain. When Boole destroyed Eban 10,000 years ago, we sealed our Ebonite bodies in a vacuum chamber inside this temple. And our spirits left our bodies to roam the universe until Eban should be restored. Now Boole intends to re-enter his body and build a new Eban. Once he does reclaim his ancient body, all is lost. For no one save me can destroy him. And if I slay him, I too must die.
But what can you do?
I have a plan. Come with me into the temple where Boole awaits. There is Boole standing beside our ancient bodies, just as we left them so long ago.
All is ready, Lana. We will break the vacuum, permit our spirits to enter our sleeping bodies. Are you prepared?
I am prepared, Boole.
Then we begin.
Howard, look. Those bodies in the glass vacuum. They're beginning to move.
Yes. Slowly. Slowly. Look at them.
No. No, don't. Please, don't.
Judy, darling.
Oh, no. Help me.
Judy.
He's here again. Where am I?
Judy.
How did I get here?
Judy, thank heaven she's left you. You're yourself again.
Look. They've left the vacuum. See? Up there.
Oh, there she is. She's the one in my dream.
You are free. All of you.
Not so. The three of you will remain here forever to help rebuild the populace of Eban.
You cannot, Boole.
Boole is all great, all powerful. Boole is the law. No one can defy.
No one, Boole, save me.
You lack the courage, Lana.
Not now. I have the courage. courage now. You were cruel and wicked fools. Your rule of ancient Eban ended in horrible tragedy. It must not happen again.
Put down the weapon, Lana. You dare not slay me. You'll die yourself.
Then I call upon death to claim me.
You dare not, Lana. You dare not slay the son of the Ancient One.
Yes, fool, yes. It has been written by the hand of destiny.
Lana, think. Think before you slay me.
It's beyond the realm of thought, fool. No. I destroy you, brother.
She did it. She did it.
That is the end. All is finished now. No, you must go.
Can you come with us, Lana?
No, for soon I perish also. You must hurry now. Leave Eban quickly. Go while yet you have time. Hasten before it is too late.
Well, Judy, darling, we're underway. Full speed ahead.
No trouble starting the motors, dear?
None at all. Your father and Ned are down with the crew. The men don't even suspect what has happened to us.
Well, just as well. They'd never believe it.
Well, take a last look, Judy. You'll soon be out of sight of the land.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad it's all over, Phil. But poor Lana. She gave her life to save ours, Phil.
Yes, darling. She did.
What's that?
Look. Flames from the mainland, like a volcano.
Phil, the land's sinking.
It's Lana. Judy. She's released the forces. She's destroyed ancient Eban once again. Dark fantasy.
The Thing from the Sea, an original tale of dark fantasy by Scott Bishop. Eleanor Naylor Corrin was Judith Johnston. Ben Morris played Philip Hayward. Fred Wayne was heard as Johnston. Eugene Francis played Ned. Georgiana Cook was Lana. And Darrell McAllister was Boole, the Thing from the Sea. Next Friday night at the same time, the National Broadcasting Company will bring you another...
Dark fantasy. Resolution 1841.
My name is Laura Cabot. It is January 2nd, 1942, the second day of a new year. As I speak these words, even I myself can't believe that what has happened is true. It began only a few short hours ago. Less than 48 to be exact. And yet, it has changed everything for me. Even life itself. I must tell someone. And so, I'm telling you. It all began night before last, New Year's Eve. A number of us had braved the deep snow and cold north wind to go out to the old Cabot place, north of Quincy, to see the new year in. There were 4 of us. Ed and Helen Richards, who had just been married a year, and a business friend of Ed's named Duke Toback. We had to leave Ed's car down at the road and walk up the narrow, unused lane leading to the big brick house.
Oh, talk about 1941 leaving with a vengeance.
Oh, it's cold, isn't it? The snow's drifting deeper.
Oh, Helen, to the right, dear. The house is over there.
All right, Laura. I didn't know we'd have to walk.
Yeah, it'll be good for us.
I wonder what your friend must think of us out like this on New Year's Eve.
Duke? Oh, Duke's a good sport. Besides, dear, haven't we made a practice of spending New Year's Eve in the old Cabot place for the last 3 years?
Yes, Ed, we have.
Besides, Duke wouldn't want to spoil the fun. Anyway, I think that he makes a fine partner for Laura, don't you?
Yes. He's very handsome.
And wealthy. Helen, do you think she likes him?
Well, the way she's hanging on to him and laughing, I wouldn't exactly say she hates him.
Oh, Mr. Toback, you certainly must think that we're idiots.
I wish you'd call me Duke. I've been calling you Laura all evening.
Well, I guess it's because I'm so fascinated by your last name that I used it. Tell me, how do you spell it?
Just like it sounds. T-O-B-A-C.
Duke.
Yes, Laura?
Spell your last name backwards. Toback, spelled backwards, is Cabot. My name.
I say, you're right.
Well, that's the most unusual thing I've ever heard of.
Well, I'm an unusual person.
Are you?
Don't you think so, Laura?
I really haven't had time to decide yet. But I'm awfully glad you came along with Helen and Ed tonight. We do this every year, you know.
Yes, so Richards told me.
Oh, this old house has been in my family for more than a century. It was just 3 years ago that I discovered it belonged to me.
That's so?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there were back taxes galore on the place. But I paid them up. And every New Year since then, the Richards and I have spent New Year's Eve
A
here.
charming custom. You know, I rather think I'm going to enjoy being let in on it.
I hope so, Duke. Really, I do. I want this to be the best New Year's Eve we've ever enjoyed. Helen, you and Ed wait up, or you'll have to stand at the door till we catch up with you.
All right.
Duke, what's wrong?
Laura, wait.
What is it?
Is that the house?
Why, yes. Why?
I don't know. It seems so familiar looking. I've seen it before. Someplace.
Well, if you've seen it, it's been right here.
Come on, Laura. Unlock the door.
Oh, all right. Here's the key.
Here, I'll open it. There. In you go, Laura.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Ed, come in and close that door.
Yeah.
Hurry, dear. Snow's blowing into the place.
Here, old man, let me give you a hand with that door.
Thanks. Ooh, there. Quite a wintry blast.
Here, stomp off the rug on this rag, the snow on this rag rug. That's what it's for.
Good to know.
Oh, it's nice and warm in here.
Yes, I'm surprised. You been out here earlier today?
No. Oh, Mr. Johnson owns the farm across the way. He always comes over on the last day of December and builds a fire for us.
You see, he expects us.
The place seems so strange tonight.
Strange? What do you mean, Laura?
I don't know. Does it really feel warm to you folks?
Well, it certainly does.
Of course it does, dear.
Yeah, it's fine. Boy, it sure makes it handy to come here and have the place all heated for us.
Yes, but it doesn't seem the same in here as it always has before.
Well, personally, I think it's very homey.
Well, so do I. It's a pity no one lives here. It's such a nice place. I've tried to convince Laura she should stay here instead of renting in town.
I've had this feeling before. It's so strange. Almost weird.
Weird? Why, this place is far from being weird.
Oh, of course. Oh, I'm just being silly. Come on, Helen. Let's take our coats into the other room and see what condition the kitchen's in.
All right. Ed, you'd better throw a log on the fire.
How about some refreshments all around, huh?
Oh, you just leave that to us, gentlemen. There are plenty of refreshments in the kitchen.
Yes, indeed. Laura and I had them sent out yesterday.
Smoke, Duke?
No, thanks.
Well, how do you like her?
Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Charming.
Oh, now, Duke, is that all you've got to say for her?
Well, I haven't known her but a few hours. And yet...
Yes, Duke?
Yet, it seems that I have known her before. Somewhere. Sometime.
What makes you think that?
I can't say. Something about her. The way she acts. The way she talks, possibly. I don't know.
Well, have you asked Laura if she'd met you before?
Oh, I thought that rather a silly thing to say. Besides, that's what men always say to women when they're trying to make conversation. And, well, Laura's very easy to talk to. She talks so comfortably with me. And, well, it's as though she'd known me someplace before, too.
Well, I know how you feel, Duke. I felt the same way about folks I'd just been introduced to.
Sensations like that are hard to explain.
Yeah, they're generally not explained. Look here, Duke. This is your first trip to Quincy, isn't it?
Not only my first trip to Quincy, it's my first trip to Massachusetts.
Well, now, Laura's lived here all her life. She's been away a summer or two on vacation, though. Possibly you met her then.
Yes, that could be the answer. But it does seem we've been acquainted before. And the strangest part of it all is, it seems that we were once very close to each other. Very close.
Oh, Helen, will you juice these oranges for me, please?
How many?
Oh, half a dozen to begin with, I guess. Oh, come on over here on the small table.
Oh, all right. Laura?
Yes?
What do you think of Duke?
Oh, I don't know. Give me a little more time.
He seems to be attracted to you.
Does he?
Does he indeed? I caught him 3 times staring at you like, well, with a sort of fascination. Like he couldn't get used to you.
Well, perhaps you're right. Maybe he can't get used to me.
No, I didn't mean that way. I mean, well, he stared at you like he was trying to remember something.
Yes, I noticed that.
And I caught you staring the same way at him.
Yes.
What is it, Laura?
I don't know.
You like him all right, don't you?
That's just it. I feel that suddenly I like him too much.
Oh, now, you needn't fall in love with him right off the handle.
Oh, no, it isn't that. It's a different kind of a feeling. An affection. But not the kind a woman has for a man. It's different from that.
I don't understand what you mean, Laura.
I wonder if I understand what I mean myself. It's something that seems to draw me very close to him.
Oh, love at first sight. I've always believed in it.
No, not that. Something else. Something different. Something
Greater. He hasn't made love to you already, has he?
Helen, will you please stop talking about love? Love has nothing to do with it.
Laura, you need a lift. Come on, let me fix you one.
No, not now. You know, Helen, I'm positive I've never met Duke Toback before. And yet it seems that I did know him once a long, long time ago.
Well, it couldn't be very long ago. You're only 23.
No, I mean farther back than that, even.
Hey, wait a minute.
His name. It's so strange. Toback. It's so very strange.
$11:30.
No, just 30 more minutes, then it's goodbye 1941.
I can't wait. I've had enough of the past 365 days. I want a brand new year to start out everything with a clean slate.
Now you're talking, Laura. Here's to 1942.
Yes, here's to the new year.
Well, hey, I'm in on that.
May all our troubles disappear like bubbles of champagne.
Especially as quickly as the bubbles in any champagne that might be left around our place.
Would you pardon me now? I want to go upstairs for a moment.
I'll go with you.
Oh, no, dear. It's cold up there, and besides, I won't be but a moment.
Helen, you've got work to do in the kitchen. Well, I'll be right back.
Yes, I'll only be a moment. Make yourself at home.
She seems strange tonight, doesn't she, Ed?
Yeah. You know, she was right enough when we left town. But you know, the minute she stepped into this house tonight, something came over her.
I think she's quite attractive.
Duke, had you ever met her before tonight?
I know, at least I don't think I have.
Well, that's what she said about you.
She did?
Yes. She acted so strangely, too. She said that you attracted her in a strange sort of way.
Now, that's a pretty compliment.
Oh, Ed. What I mean, Duke, is Laura told me she seems to have known you before somewhere.
You know, that's odd. Duke just said the same thing about Laura, not more than 30 minutes ago.
Duke, you mean that...
Yes. It's so strange. I'm trying hard to remember.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. You know, I've had the same thing happen to me. Just some trick in nature. You meet a person, for a moment you'd swear you'd met him before.
But isn't it strange that Laura should have the same feeling about Duke?
Yes, I was about to forget the whole affair, but now... Well, I wonder.
Well, now, my advice is that you two get together a little more. Talk over the places you've visited, places you've been. Now, I'll wager one of my Christmas ties you met at the seashore. Or at Santa Anita, or maybe on some dude ranch.
Possibly, Ed. But it doesn't seem that way. You know, I haven't said this before, but even this old house seems familiar to me.
It does?
Yes. When I first saw it outside, I stopped dead in my tracks. Something seemed to stop me, and... Well, I'd have sworn I'd walked up that same lane out there dozens and dozens of times.
Well, that's incredible.
This room, with its high ceiling and huge fireplace. These pine walls, the heavy oak floors, the decorations. They all seem so vaguely familiar.
But why should they? You've never been here before.
No, I haven't. Don't you two think it's getting chilly in here?
Yes, a little.
Oh, there are no more logs. I guess I'd better go fetch a couple.
No, Ed, I'll do it.
Now, there's no reason for both of you to go out in the cold. Ed, you go.
Isn't that just like a wife? No, Ed, you stay here. I know exactly where the logs are. I saw them when I came in. I'll be right back with a couple.
Better put a coat on, old man.
No, I won't be out long enough. The wood's just around the corner of the house.
Oh, Laura, I didn't see you come back.
Oh, he's gone to get some logs for the fire. Insisted on going alone.
Laura, what a beautiful dress.
Hey, Those aren't the clothes you wore out here.
Wherever did you find such a quaint outfit, darling?
It's a dress my mother used to treasure. It's been in my family for almost a century.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I thought it would be fun to put it on tonight. I found it upstairs in an old trunk.
Just wait until Duke sees you in that dress. Maybe that'll help him remember where he knew you before.
He thinks he's known me before.
And Helen says you feel that you've met him before, too.
Well, yes. I do feel that way, but... Oh, I don't know what to think. I'm so upset tonight.
Laura, what is wrong tonight? Ed and I've both noticed it.
Yeah, what's wrong, Laura?
Oh, I didn't want to mention it, but...
There. Something is wrong.
Well, can we help you?
No, I couldn't ask you to. Well, you two know how very fond I've grown of this old house and the property.
Yeah. You certainly spent a lot of money putting it into shape. I still don't see why you don't live here.
Oh, it's the memories and more than anything. And the fact that my grandmother and her grandmother and hers lived here for so many years.
Oh, Laura, you don't mean you're going to lose the place?
I'm afraid so.
Oh.
You see, it's heavily mortgaged. I'm in debt more than $3,000. I can't meet that debt.
Well, that's a little more money than we've got right now.
Yes, quite a bit more. Oh. What's that?
Duke.
Oh. Oh, Ed, see what's wrong. For heaven's sake, don't just stand there. Hurry.
Lord, man, your head. What happened? Speak to me, Duke. Are you all right? Here now. Take it easy. Now, I'll carry you into the house. Come on now. Arm around my neck. That's it.
Is he all right, do you think?
Yeah. There's quite a pile of wood out there. Picked up a piece near the bottom, and the lot slid down on him. Just knocked him out, that's all.
Oh, he looks so pale. Here, loosen his collar. There. You better take his tie. That's it.
Oh.
Duke?
Oh.
Duke? Are you all right?
Feeling better now, old man?
What? Is something wrong?
You had an accident, Duke. Do you feel all right now?
Laura.
Yes, Duke?
Laura. Why'd you call me that, Laura? Who are these people?
Duke, why, you'll be all right.
Who are these people? Why am I lying here? Where's your mother, Lauren?
You'll be all right now. Just lie still.
Why do you speak like that? Why do you look at me like that, daughter?
Daughter?
What's the trouble here? Suddenly you're so strange.
It's you who are strange.
What? You call your father strange? You call me, Jeremiah Cabot, strange?
Jeremiah Cabot?
Of course, Jeremiah Cabot. Don't tell me I have to remind you who I am.
But Jeremiah Cabot was my mother's great-great-grandfather.
Duke, for heaven's sake, what's the matter with you?
This is so strange. I'm afraid I don't know your friends, Lauren, and you, young lady, or you, sir.
Oh, now, Duke, cut the kidding.
Just a moment, Ed. I think I'm beginning to understand.
For a moment, child, I thought you were my daughter. Now I know the truth.
Yes, that must be it.
What, Laura? What on earth?
Just a moment, Helen. Jeremiah Cabot. He built this house. His daughter was named Laurelyn. The name has been in the family for a century.
Laurelyn. She looked so much like you. I still don't get this.
Ed, wait, I think I can explain, at least partially. There's an old legend in our family that one New Year's Eve, Jeremiah Cabot was asked by his family to join them in making New Year's resolutions. In the spirit of jest, Jeremiah resolved one thing: to return to this earth 100 years from the night he made the resolution.
That's it. Yes, of course. The resolution. The brick in the fireplace. The brick.
What does he mean?
I remember now. Here, I'll show you. This brick. This one behind the others. See? It's loose. You can remove it.
But what are you trying to tell us?
Here. You see? A hiding place behind the brick. This is where the papers are hidden. And the money.
Will somebody please tell me what's going on around here?
Ed, that's real money.
$10,000. You see? It has been hidden here for years. And here, pictures. In the original deed to the Cabot property.
Well, this is most amazing.
And this is what I was looking for. Here, Laurelyn, read this. Go ahead, child. Read it.
What did it say, Laura?
Do you want me to read it?
No. Just a moment. It's quite faded. The ink is almost gone. It says, I, Jeremiah Cabot, being in my right and sane mind, do solemnly resolve this night to return to earth again. Exactly 100 years from now, if it be within the realm of power. Signed, Jeremiah Cabot, December 31st, 1841.
What happened? Is something wrong? What am I doing here? Oh, my head.
Duke.
Why are you all looking at me like that? Oh, I remember now. The logs. Ooh, cold in here.
Duke, where are you going?
No, Ed. You stay here. I know exactly where the logs are. Saw them when we came in. I'll be right back.
Fantasy. Resolution 1841. Tonight's tale of dark fantasy, written by Scott Bishop. Charles Carshon played Duke Toback. Minnie Jo Curtis was Laura Cabot. Eleanor Naylor Corrin was Helen Richards. And Ben Morris played Ed Richards. Next Friday night at this same time, the National Broadcasting Company will bring you the 8th in this series of stories of the supernatural and the...
am the master of the headless den.
I say, guard.
Just call me Swiss, sir. Spelled with an E at the end.
Yes, of course. You reminded me before.
What were you about to say, sir?
I was about to observe that this Tower of London is quite a historic place.
That it is, sir. Historic indeed.
And haunted, I have heard tell.
Oh, have you now, sir?
Oh, yes. Don't tell me you haven't heard stories about the Tower's ghosts.
Perhaps I have. Perhaps not.
Of course, I don't believe that sort of rubbish, you know.
Rubbish?
Certainly rubbish. Don't tell me, Mr. Swift, with an E, don't tell me you believe in such things as ghosts and haunts.
What I believe, sir, I believe.
Certainly not the legend of the gambling spook of Wycott Hall.
The ghost invariably appears whenever a gambling game is in progress at Wycott Hall here in the tower, and always wins the stakes.
Yes. Don't tell me you believe such a fantastic yarn as that. Or such an unbelievable story as the one about the pig-faced spectre of the rectory.
I imagine Brother Randolph would tell you there's nothing fantastic about the story at all.
Brother Randolph?
Yes, sir. He's the overseer of the rectory. He's seen the spectre many times.
No, he's probably just superstitious.
Brother Randolph says the thing is always dressed in a long black cloak. Has the body of a human, but the face is that of some grotesque and repulsive animal.
It sounds like an old wives' tale.
Oh, mind you, sir, I'm not trying to convince you about such things. That's the entrance to the choir loft, the chapel over there.
Chapel. Didn't know there was one in here.
It's a chapel of St. Peter Adventula.
Is it possible for me to go in there?
Begging your pardon, sir, that's what the climb up the stairs was for. We always like to show visitors the choir loft, the chapel.
Well, then, let's have a gander at the place, shall we?
Yes, it is, sir. Yeah, the key. You always keep this locked. More habit than anything else. Nobody ever climbs those steps unless they're showing them through the tower. Here we are, sir.
Yeah, I say. It's dark in there. How about a light, my man?
Oh, no, blimey. I completely forgot to turn the lights on the fuse box down below. If you don't mind waiting, sir.
Oh, no. Wait. I wouldn't ask anyone to climb those steps again. There's enough light coming through the stained glass panes. I say, would you lead the way?
Yes, of course. Watch your step, sir. Step up here. There you are, sir. You can observe the chapel below, sir.
Yes. Deserted looking, isn't it?
It isn't as deserted as you might think, sir.
What was that?
You see only as far as you permit yourself to see, sir.
I don't believe I understand.
If you look for emptiness, sir, you see emptiness.
But it is empty down there.
Is it, sir?
I suppose you're trying to tell me this chapel is haunted, too.
Hasn't it a right to be, sir?
Right.
Yes, indeed. You see, sir, it's the burial place of the headless dead.
It's another of those idiotic legends.
Hardly a legend. You see those flagstones down there in front of the altar?
Faintly, yes.
Those stones form more than just the sanctuary floor, sir. They are also tombstones.
Why do you tell me such a thing as that, Mr. Swift?
Because it's truth.
You mean people are buried beneath those flagstones?
Including, I might add, 2 of England's queens.
Not actually.
Oh, yes, actually.
I've never heard that before.
Few people have, sir.
Then that's why you say the place down there isn't deserted.
In a manner of speaking. That's what I mean. Yes. Have you observed the huge pipe organ here in the loft, sir?
Oh, yes. I noticed when we came in. But getting back to what you were talking...
It's quite a famous instrument, I must say. Been played by dozens of famous people.
Oh, it has. Could I play it?
Well, it's against regulations, sir, but, well, if you play softly, sir.
Oh, now, I say, that's mighty good of you. I do have somewhat of a reputation for playing the organ.
You play well, sir. Quite well.
Thank you. A rather old instrument, isn't it? Beautiful tone, though. Beautiful.
Et verbum erat in principio.
What's that?
Hoc erat in principio apud verbum.
Keep playing, sir. Keep playing.
What?
Quickly, sir, before it's too late. Play.
That voice. What is it?
No one knows. He always speaks like that in Latin. Whenever a stranger plays his organ for the first time.
Et testimonium per illuminating.
Can you see who it is?
No one has ever seen who it is.
Is he gone?
Yes. You'll hear no more of him today.
But what's the explanation? Who is it? Why does he do that?
There is no explanation. I must admit, sir, I've often heard of the ghost of St. Peter's Chapel, but this is the first time I've actually heard him.
He always does that?
Whenever a stranger plays his organ for the first time.
Will he return if I play again?
No. He always speaks just once. Then he's never heard again until another organist plays for the first time.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible.
I say, sir, it's about closing time. Do you mind if I leave you now?
Why, no, of course not.
You recall your way out of the tower, I trust. Look around a while longer if you wish. And I'll return later to lock this car loft.
But I don't know whether I want to remain here.
Oh, don't worry, sir. You're quite all right. Besides, you don't believe in such rubbish as ghosts.
Yes, but
I'm happy to show you around, sir. By the way, what did you say your name is?
Holman. Frederick J. Holman.
Well, then I'm very happy to have known you, Mr. Holman. Who knows? Perhaps your visit here will make you a changed man.
Now, whatever did he mean by that? I say, what's come over me? I feel so sleepy. Yes, sleepy. I'd best sit here in this pew. Strange. Never felt like this before. I'll sleep here a while, then go home. Huh? What's that? Went to sleep. Oh, I remember now. I slept here in this chapel pew. I say, the door's closed now. Mr. Swift evidently returned, locked me in. That's strange. Why didn't he awaken me? What's that? No. It can't be. Those stones at the foot of the altar. They're being pushed up by someone underneath. hands and arms. Long, bony arms. Pushing up the flagstones. And over to the right. Two ghostly figures rising out of the tombs in the floor. No. No, it's not possible. It can't be. Figures. Dozens of them now. Leaving their tombs. Forming a procession down the middle aisle of the chapel. And each of them is headless and carrying his head before him in his hands. Look at them. Marching in a slow procession down the center aisle. Marching. 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 On soundless feet. That man in front. The one in ancient armor. He seems to be the leader of those fantastic creatures. Oh, is this a dream? Is this a nightmare?
No. It is not a dream.
How did you get up here? Just a moment ago, you were down below, leading the procession.
It is not our custom to hold our rights while an intruder is present.
But I was locked in here. I didn't intend to be here.
Now that you are here, you must make the most of it.
What do you mean?
You're now as one of us.
It was you who prayed when I played the organ earlier today.
Yes. I always pray when a stranger sits at the console. You see, it was I who first played this organ when it was installed. Don't you think I play well?
But why do you return when others play it?
Because no one could ever play it as well as I. Therefore, I pray for them.
You're dead. And yet... And yet... You're playing the instrument now.
Yes. I always provide the music for our nightly meetings.
I don't understand all this. Those others down there, they're ghastly creatures. Headless.
Yes. They were less fortunate than I. You see, I managed to keep my head.
They were executed?
How else would they have come to be headless? You see, we will become quite uncomfortable lying in our graves beneath the flagstone floor if we didn't arise occasionally and stretch ourselves.
Good heavens.
Look, you, down below there. Will it amaze you for me to tell you that in that procession are some of history's most famous people?
Surely this isn't happening.
Indeed. Believe me, you're quite mistaken. Didn't you know that here in the chapel of St. Peter ad Ventula are buried such famous people as Sir Thomas More, Henry VIII's queens, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard?
I do remember that, but
as well as Lady Jane Grey and Dudley, her husband, and Sir Walter Raleigh and the Duke of Monmouth.
But they have all been dead for hundreds of years.
How true. How very true. Rick Holman, you will join us.
What?
I said you will join in the procession with us.
No, not I.
It must be so. No one can look upon the procession of the headless dead unless he joined them to save himself.
Save myself? What do you mean?
You will discover what I mean if you refuse to take part in the ceremony.
But not now. Not tonight. Perhaps later. Yes, some other time.
It will be more satisfactory for you to join us tonight.
I can't tonight. Can't we make it some other night? Honestly, I fell asleep here. It's later than I thought.
It's exactly midnight.
I must return home. My family will be frantic. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll return to join you
tomorrow at midnight. What? Tomorrow at midnight. You will return to join in the procession.
Yes. Yes, that's fine. You can count on it.
Raise your right hand.
My right hand?
Yes, raise it. Now, repeat after me. I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
By the souls of the sacred dead.
By the souls of the sacred dead.
To return to this chapel tomorrow at midnight.
To return to this chapel tomorrow at midnight.
So help me, heaven.
So help me, heaven.
Now, you may go.
Yes, but the door to the choir loft is locked.
It is locked, but you will have no trouble going out through it. And remember, Frederick Holman, tomorrow night at midnight.
Frederick, dear, you're worried about something. I know you are. It was 1 o'clock when you came home last night. You've never done that before.
Oh, I know, Laura, my dear, I know.
You acted so strangely when you did get home. What's more, you didn't sleep. You tossed all night long.
Laura, I must tell you something.
Well, I certainly think I have some explanation coming.
Yes. Yes, you have. I don't know how you're going to accept this, but... Well, here goes. I went to visit the Tower of London yesterday. I saw the prison cells and the execution and torture chambers. Finally, the guard took me to the little chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula. So I promised to return to the chapel tonight at midnight. They permitted me to leave the chapel.
Frederick, surely you were dreaming.
No, I'm sure it was no dream. It was all too realistic. I saw those people and heard them.
Oh, but things like that don't happen.
I'm very positive this happened, Laura.
Oh, nonsense. You were just affected by those ghost stories that guide told you about the tower.
Oh, dear, you're wrong. I'd never believed in such things before. No. Well,
but surely you don't intend to go back there tonight. Do you?
I don't know, Laura. I don't know. Hello. Hello, Laura. I say, Laura, are you there? Laura. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I thought for a moment we'd been disconnected. Yes, I can hear you now. What I called for, dear, was to say I'm dining at the club tonight. Yes, old Simon Joster is off to the Orient. We're having a dinner for him. Yes, I'll be home early. Huh? What's that? No, Laura. I've decided not to go to the tower tonight. I think you're probably right. It all must have been a dream.
Good evening, Mr. Holman. Your car, sir.
Oh, thank you, Henry.
Shall I drive you to the tower, sir?
Of course not, Henry. Drive me straight home. Whatever made you think I'd want to go to the tower at this time of night?
I don't rightly know, sir. Begging your pardon, Mr. Holman, I don't know what made me ask you that. Really, I don't.
Don't drive me home, Henry.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, what time do you have, Henry?
It's just a minute or two before midnight, sir.
Oh, very well. Take me home at once.
Did you say something, sir?
Did you hear something, Henry?
Hear something, sir?
Yes, that voice.
Voice, Mr. Holman.
Don't you hear that voice?
No, sir, I don't hear nothing, sir.
Listen. It's him. Listen to him.
You must be tired, sir. There's nobody.
That voice.
Really, sir.
Don't tell me you haven't heard the gambling spook of Wyco's Hall.
In principio est verbum.
No. Oh, it can't be.
Or Brother Randolph's pig-faced spectre of the rectory.
No one could ever play the organ as well as I.
That's what he said. The man in armor.
You see, only as far as you permit yourself to see, sir.
You see, I managed to keep my head.
If you look for emptiness, sir, you see emptiness.
Then it wasn't a dream.
The flagstones of the sanctuary floor are also tombstones.
It's true. It wasn't a dream.
You must join our procession.
Henry.
The headless dead.
Join our procession.
The headless dead.
Join our procession.
The headless dead.
Henry, in the name of heaven, man, look where you're driving.
I can't stop, sir.
Look out, you're going to hit that bus. Mr. Holmes!
Henry, look out!
Mr. Holman. Mr. Holman, are you all right, sir? We hit that truck and...
Mr. Holman, we hit that truck broadside and...
Mr. Holman. Look at him.
Greetings, Frederick Holman, and welcome. I am pleased that you have kept your appointment with us.
You have heard The Headless Dead, tonight's original tale of dark fantasy by Scott Bishop. Ben Morris played Frederick Holman. Eleanor Naylor Corrin was Mrs. Holman. Fred Wayne was Swift. Garland Moss was the leader of The Headless Dead. And Murillo Schofield was heard as the chauffeur. Next Friday night at this same time, we'll bring you a strange and weird tale of the unusual. Death is a savage deity, based upon Scott Bishop's novel of the same name. Listen for this breathtaking tale of witchcraft and black magic. Dark Fantasy originates each Friday night in the studios of WKY, Oklahoma City.